Chapter 1007. It seemed that Chernjouti would not be working here. Also, Chernjouti did not tell the lady boss that she could not be a superstar. That was why the lady boss said that. Tang Bao went back to tea after buying the flowers. When she entered Di Haotian's office, she saw that he was sitting behind his desk and staring at the computer. When he saw her, he looked at her with a sharp gaze that seemed to pierce through Tang Bao's body. Tang Bao walked over to Di Haotian with the flowers in her hands. She bent down and kissed Di Haotian's thin lip. Di Haotian looked at her with his dark eyes. "What's wrong? I'm not too late, am I? I mainly went to buy you flowers." Tang Bao was afraid that Di Haotian would be angry, so she kissed him when she came in. In the past, this kind of initiative kiss was Di Haotian's style. "That's all." Di Haotian leaned back. His aura was even more dangerous and oppressive. Tang Bao thought for a while and asked, "Is there anything else?" Di Haotian opened his phone and put it on the table. On the clear screen, there was a clear photo. It was a photo of Luo Luoli and her at the bathroom door. What's wrong? How dare you spread rumors about me?" Di Haotian's face darkened. Tang Bao was a little surprised. "You can tell that it's me?" Her back was facing him. If she had not experienced it herself, she might not have been able to recognize her just by looking at her back. Di Haotian's gaze turned even colder. Could he tell that she was strange? Even if the photo was not clear, he could tell that it was not her just by looking at her back. "Even if it's me, you shouldn't be angry, right? Luoli is a woman, not a man." Tang Bao could not understand Di Haotian's anger. "You want a man? Not even a woman?" Di Haotian was so overbearing that Tang Bao found it inconceivable. Wasn't this jealousy a little too ridiculous? "If you want to talk, just talk. Why are you holding hands? I don't like you to have physical contact with anyone." "I'll go arrange the flowers first," Tang Bao said as he turned around to replace the flowers in the vase. "You have a problem with what I said?" Di Haotian's voice was cold. "No. Absolutely not," Tang Bao said with certainty as he changed the flowers. If she dared to reason with Di Haotian in this regard, she would be the one to suffer in the end. It was not the first day she had met Di Haotian. Her possessiveness came like a storm. But now she had a deeper understanding. This possessiveness had gone beyond perverted and had become twisted bigotry. If she wanted to change Di Haotian's deep-rooted paranoia, then she was dreaming. Pay attention to this kind of thing in the future. Got it? Tang Bao could only obey. He even had a cute smile on his face to appease her. Di Haotian's appeasement was not bad. The gloomy expression on his face seemed to have improved. He felt that Di Haotian was really hard to please. The king of D City was even scarier than the rumors said. On the other side, Luo Luoli showed signs of waking up. When she was about to wake up, she liked to stretch before she opened her eyes. However, her whole body was sore from the stretching. The pain made her open her eyes. What she saw was her and Gu Linshan's big bedroom. She was the only one on the bed. She heard the silence of the bedroom. She looked at the alarm clock next to her. It was already past 11 o'clock. What should she do? She did not want to get up. She was very tired. She felt that she was about to be crippled by Gu Linshan. His stamina was too good. Now that she thought about it, she felt scared. Luo Luoli blushed and buried her face in the pillow. The smell of Gu Linshan on the bed made her face even redder. However, she did not move her face away. She felt that it smelled good and could not help but move her nose closer. There was a knock on the door. Luo Luoli was so scared that she quickly moved away from Gu Linshan's pillow. Her face was completely red. Half of it was because she was scared. "Miss, are you awake?" The butler outside heard the sound just now. "I'm awake. What's the matter?" "It's time to eat." "Oh, got it." Luo Luoli did not hear the sound outside and heaved a sigh of relief. She softly curled up in the quilt. She thought about how the butler called her just now. Anyway, since she and Gu Linshan registered their marriage, He had always called her that. He did not change the way he called her. Since they were married, why not change it? It felt like Gu Linshan was the one raising her, not his wife. Luoluoli sighed. Why did she have to worry about this kind of thing? Actually, it was quite good like this. It was better to get up and eat. After washing up, Luoluoli took her phone downstairs and looked at it. This was her habit. Miss, be careful not to fall. Young Master Gu does not allow you to look at your phone while walking down the stairs. The butler reminded her. I know. I'm holding the handrail with one hand. Before Luoluoli could finish her words, she saw the news that surprised me. In several photos, she was talking to Tang Bao and smiling because they looked alike. I looked at the content. What was it about a married woman having an ambiguous relationship with a man outside and being suspected of having an affair? What the hell? She had an affair? Who would do this? This man was obviously Tang Bao. However, in every photo, Tang Bao's back was facing her. She was also a man dressed as a woman, so others would definitely think that she was a man. Luoluoli thought of something and was shocked. She quickly dialed the number. The butler saw Luoluoli's shocked expression at the bottom of the stairs. Miss, what happened? Do you need help? No need. As soon as the call went through, Luoluoli immediately said, Little uncle, did you see the news online? I saw it. Don't believe what they say online. Are you trying to explain it to me? Did I mistreat you? Is that why you went to find another man? No. I definitely didn't. Luoluoli said nervously, That man is Tang Bao. Little uncle, you didn't tell me that Tang Gu is Tang Bao. So, after I found out that day, I had dinner with Tang Bao and we talked in the bathroom. I don't know why someone took a photo of us. After she came back, she didn't even have time to ask Gu Linshan why he hid it from her. Now, she was the one who got into trouble. Really? How would I know if she's Tang Bao or not? I didn't see her face. This isn't a deliberate excuse, right? Gu Linshan leaned back in his seat leisurely with a faint smile on his lip. He didn't look unhappy at all. Instead, he looked very amused. How about this? Can I look for Tang Bao? You should believe what she said, right? Luoluoli said helplessly. Chapter 1008. Luoluoli panicked. Then what do I have to do to make you believe me? How could she do such a thing? She would never do it even if she was beaten to death. You don't have to explain to me. From now on, you have to listen to everything I say. You have to tell me 3 days in advance where you are going. Also, when we are in bed, you can't go back on my word. Why? Do you have a problem with that? Gu Linshan raised his voice slightly. No. What I want to say is that every time you say one, I never say two. Luoluoli blushed and said softly. She even covered the phone receiver, afraid that someone would hear Gu Linshan's embarrassing words. Actually, at that time, all she could do was cry out and not say a word. That's for the best. I have to tell you 3 days in advance? What if I forget? Then you don't have to go. Okay. Luoluoli felt wronged. This was clearly a non-existent matter, yet she had to sign such an unfair agreement. Was there anyone more pitiful than her? But for some reason, she felt that Gu Linshan's request was already unprecedentedly agreeable. Did he change his temperament? Why did she not believe it? Have you eaten? Gu Linshan asked. I'm about to eat. Are you calling me while standing on the stairs? Gu Linshan asked calmly. Luoluoli looked down at her situation and quickly went down the stairs before answering. No, I called you from the bottom of the stairs. If she admitted it, wouldn't she be admitting that she was playing with her phone while going down the stairs? He wouldn't believe her if she said that she was just holding her phone and didn't look at it. She had called Gu Linshan the moment she saw the news. Butler, are you treating me as if I don't exist? Gu Linshan didn't need to verify. He knew that Luoluoli was lying. His sharp senses allowed him to hear her going down the stairs. Go and eat. Okay. After Gu Linshan hung up, another call came in. In fact, He had already received a notification when he called Luoluali, but he didn't care. He would not hang up on Luoluali because of another call. No matter what, he had to finish the call before it was anyone else's turn. This person was none other than Old Master Gu. Gu Linshan looked at the caller ID and answered the call. "What's the matter?" His tone could be said to be indifferent. "Are the things on the internet real?" Old Master Gu's question came through. Gu Linshan did not answer the call, but he knew it was about this. "Can't you even handle your own affairs? The people who came to the birthday party last time all knew Luoluali. So what if I know him? I didn't say anything, so everyone else should shut up," Gu Linshan said coldly. "Besides, the others don't know about me and Loli. Even if they don't know, the others know that she's my granddaughter. The rumors on the internet are so ugly. They even said that she's a married woman. Do you still want the Gu family's face? Since when do you care about what others think? Can't you just pretend that you didn't see this kind of thing? You don't care? You don't have to care about my affairs. Yes, if I wasn't your father, I wouldn't care about you. Then you can cut off all ties with me. I won't stop you." "You? How dare you? It's not the first day that I'm being presumptuous. There's no need to ruin our father-son relationship by telling me about this kind of thing. What do you think?" Gu Linshan sneered. His eyes were cold. "You think this is a small matter?" Luoluali appeared on the internet with another man. "I already saw it. I don't need you to repeat it." You're pissing me off. Don't listen to what others say. It won't do you any good. Also, don't call Luo Meiwan. I'm not a soft-hearted person. You know this best." The flesh on Old Master Gu's face trembled with anger. He couldn't say anything. On the other end, Gu Linshan hung up the phone. Old Master Gu was so angry that he wanted to smash his phone. His only son. He had given birth to such a son. If he had known, he would have given birth to another one. This was simply asking for his life. He was still upset that Luoluali and Gu Linshan had gotten their marriage certificate. Not to mention that he had been involved in such an immoral thing. What kind of good things could a person like Luo Meiwan teach? He really wanted to teach Gu Linshan a lesson. However, Gu Linshan seemed to be able to see through his thoughts and killed his thoughts. Yes, he knew his son very well. He had a smarter and shrewder mind than others, but he used it against him. How could he not be angry? Lan Wanru didn't know much about the internet, but ever since she found out about Tang Go in the entertainment industry, she would check it from time to time. Today, when she saw the news on her phone, she immediately paid attention to it. Because it was about a woman cheating. She didn't know about Luoluali, but what caught her attention was the man's back. He looked a little familiar. Or was she mistaken? Just as she was holding her phone and thinking, a voice came from the side. "Tanga?" Lan Wanru was stunned. When she saw Di Junbai, who was passing by but stopped, her mind suddenly lit up. That's right. Wasn't this Tanga? No wonder she found him familiar. Now that she took a closer look, who else could it be but him? Tang Gu is interested in women? Lan Wanru seemed to be very confused. She thought that Tang Gu only liked men. She never thought about that at all. Isn't it normal for men to be interested in women? Di Junbai asked in return. But Tang Gu is a pervert. I thought he only liked men. I didn't expect him to be with women. Lan Wanru couldn't continue. Anyway, she couldn't accept Tang Ji's character from the beginning. Now, she felt that his character was even worse. I don't understand. Brother Haotian is involved with such a person? And now it's on the internet. I know Brother Haotian likes her face. Therefore, she asked Chun Zhaodi to do plastic surgery to look like Tang Bao. Chun Zhaodi definitely had a chance of winning. After all, men still liked women. That was the only way. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? It says that he hooked up with a married woman. It's obvious. Di Junbai's eyes narrowed slightly. He didn't say anything and sat down on the sofa next to him. What are you talking about? Junbai, you have to pick up bowling soon, right? Don't be picked up again. I don't know what's wrong with that family, always picking up bowling. Liu Huai came down from upstairs, limping and complaining about the castle. Chapter 1009. Recently, he had been picking her up personally. Liu Huai was slightly relieved when she saw that he had gone to pick her up. She couldn't understand why her own grandson had to fight with someone else. There was no justice in this world. She turned around and saw Lan Wanru staring at his phone in a daze. She couldn't help but say, "Don't keep staring at your phone. Be careful not to hurt your eyes." "I know. What are you looking at? I just heard you talking to Junbai about seducing a married woman." "Who seduced her? Could it be Junbai?" Liu Huai was shocked by her own thoughts. Lan Wanru laughed. "How could brother do such a thing? That's true. I live a pure and simple life all day long. I don't even know when I'll find a wife. If it weren't for my grandson, I'd be worried to death." Liu Huai shook her head and sighed. She thought of something and asked, "You haven't said who seduced who?" "It's the one in the castle. He posted intimate photos of himself with a married woman online. Look here." Lan Wanru handed his phone to Liu Huai and pointed it out to her. "It's true. This woman doesn't look old and she's very pretty. Why would she do such a thing? Look at this man. You haven't seen him before, but I know very well that this is Brother Haotian's man." "What? This is him?" Liu Huai was shocked. "Yeah, that's him. Oh my God, is there a scandal at the castle all day long? It's bad enough that Di Haotian went against the law to find a man, but this man even went behind Di Haotian's back to find a woman? This is so funny." Liu Huai laughed so hard that she slapped her thigh. "I think Di Haotian forced this man. I don't think a man would be willing to submit to another man. He must have been forced." Lan Wanru felt uncomfortable when he heard this, but he didn't show it on his face. "I don't think that's the case. You know Brother Haotian's status. He can have any woman he wants. Moreover, those women were trying their best to pounce on him, hoping to get Brother Haotian's attention. Men were even less strange. Tango might not like men, but he would do anything for money. I've heard that some men would do anything for money. It's so disgusting that we can't imagine it at all. What you said is not wrong." Liu Huai expressed that it was possible. "This man is definitely no exception. He's willing to do anything for money. Now that something like this had happened, he probably couldn't hold it in any longer. However, he didn't expect that this was a society with a developed network. If he was unlucky, it would be announced to the world. I think he must be in a hurry to make up for it. Otherwise, Brother Haotian would definitely not let him off. I'll definitely tell Yu Songhuan about such an embarrassing thing. I can't let her be idle. I have to pray more to prevent more embarrassing things from happening in the future," Liu Huai said as she turned around to call Yu Songhuan's bungalow. As soon as the call was picked up, she said, "Hello, is this Aunt Wang? I haven't called you in a long time. I really want to see you, but I can't even enter the bungalow. Second Madam has a leg injury now. It's better for her to stay at home and not run around." Liu Huai was angry when she heard this. Who was the culprit that caused her leg to end up like this? "It's your son, Di Haotian." However, she didn't call to be bullied. She held back her anger and said, "Sister-in-law is still the best. You care so much about me. So, since I can't go, I can only tell you some intimate things over the phone. I wonder if you've seen the news? Isn't Tang Go from the entertainment industry? Let me tell you, he's on the news. The content is that he seduced a married woman. Oh my God, the photos are out. It's clear. He has Haotian. This can't happen. I don't think we should have a man like him. You should tell sister-in-law to be careful. You can't just let your son do everything, right? If the D family is implicated, the ancestors of the D family will have to crawl out of their graves. Second Madam, I have to go. If there's nothing else, I'll hang up. Aunt Wang hung up the phone. She looked at Yu Songhuan, who was drinking tea. It's second, madam. I heard it. It can't be anything good. When we were young after marrying into the D family, she was already talkative. Now that she's old, she's even more talkative. What did she say this time? She's talking about young madam. This Tang Bao is really something. I have to hear about her every few days. It gives me a headache. Old madam, you won't have a headache after I finish. Second madam said that Tang Go seduced a married woman and even made a fuss. Seduced a married woman? Yes, a married woman. Aunt Wang was afraid that Yu Songhuan would think that she was a married woman, so she deliberately repeated it. What kind of seduction is this? Tang Go is the Tang Bao. It's normal for him to be close to a woman. Yes, that's because second madam and the others don't know. That's why they immediately called when they heard the news. They just want to humiliate her. This matter definitely isn't simple, Yu Songhuan thought. Aunt Wang immediately advised, no matter how difficult it is, with young master around, what can't be solved? Old madam, you don't have to worry. I want to worry, but will he give me the chance? It's not like I can't tell that he's biased towards Tang Bao, Yu Songhuan said angrily. I think the young master is afraid that you'll be worried, so he doesn't want you to worry about it. I can see how filial the young master is. Yu Songhuan felt comfortable when he heard this. He more or less understood his son. The supercar sped along the luxury street and stopped in front of a clothing store. It was Meng Shi who walked out. He handsomely handed the car keys in his hand to the doorman and went in. Tang Bao, who was drinking tea inside, looked up and saw Meng Shi walking in with an imposing appearance. His slender and perfectly proportioned figure and cold, handsome face immediately made the salesperson in the store blush. It's Meng Shi, it's really Meng Shi. What should I do? My heart is beating so fast. Can I go up and ask him for an autograph? In the eyes of others, Meng Shi was so handsome that it angered both humans and gods, but as soon as he sat down, Tang Bao felt a little dispirited. Tang Bao looked at the door. What's wrong with you? You didn't come with Qing Ju? Why should I come with her? It's not like she doesn't know him. Meng Shi pursed his lips and said. Tang Bao remembered that Xiao Ding told her that Meng Shi knew about Di Haotian's identity, but Meng Shi didn't ask, so she pretended not to know. Meng Shi looked at Tang Bao from time to time as if he wanted to see flowers on her face. Chapter 10:10. Meng Shi was used to it, but when Tang Bao said this, he still became sensitive. Do you not care about my performance? What do you mean? You're pushing me into a wolf's den. Tang Bao only found it funny. How did it become a wolf's den just because I asked you to try on clothes? Stop fooling around and go try it on. Let me see how it goes. When Meng Shi thought of wearing it for Tang Bao, he became energetic. He stood up and followed the salesperson to try on the clothes. As soon as Meng Shi went in, Qing Ju came. Brother Tang, I'm late. You're not late. Meng Shi just went in to try on the clothes. Follow the salesperson. Okay. Qing Ju also went to try on the clothes. Tang Bao waited outside while drinking tea. Not long after, Meng Shi came out. He was wearing a black tailored fashionable suit. It was less retro and the lines were very sexy. When he came out, it felt like the store was lit up. Does it fit? Tang Bao asked. It fits quite well. As Meng Shi spoke, he jumped in front of Tang Bao with a strange glow on his face. Go, how did you know my size? When did you know such a private matter? How did I know? Is it difficult? As my artist, don't tell me that you don't even know this little bit? How can you be your manager? Tang Bao said, unperturbed. Is that so? That's also a private matter. That's the truth. Meng Shi insisted. Tang Bao raised his eyebrows. Whatever you say. Meng Shi moved his face forward again. Tang Ge, there's something I want to tell you. What bad things did you do? Why do you always want me to do bad things? Meng Shi met Tang Bao's gaze and said in a compromising tone, "Okay, I was indeed a little arrogant in the past." Tang Bao thought to himself, "What do you mean by a little arrogant in the past?" He was very arrogant, okay? But fortunately, he still knew how to restrain himself, although the effect was not particularly great. "But since I became your artist, I've changed a lot. What do you want to confess to me?" "You haven't told me yet," Tang Bao reminded him. "It's about my first love. Actually, that girl wasn't my first love. I just fell in love with her at first sight. I think she also fell in love with me at first sight. Otherwise, which girl wouldn't like a man like me? Look behind me." As Meng Shi spoke, he winked at the salespeople behind him. The shop assistant was so happy that she almost fainted. Meng Shi turned to look at Tang Bao and said confidently, "Isn't it?" Tang Bao indicated that he did not want to talk. Was there a need for Meng Shi to explain the situation at that time? However, Meng Shi had always said that she was his first love. This was the first time he was forced to deny it. "What exactly do you want to tell me?" Tang Bao asked. "What I'm trying to say is that if that girl appears again, I'll know who to choose. It's just that the girl's figure kept lingering in my mind. Perhaps there's a good saying, what you can't have is the best. I'm definitely thinking that now." Tang Bao thought, "You won't have a chance even if you appear again because I'm her." Qing Ju came out in a gown from behind. Tang Bao's eyes lit up and he said to Meng Shi, "Turn around." Meng Shi turned around and saw Qing Ju. He was slightly stunned and then said, "At least you look human." Tang Bao was speechless. Qing Ju indicated that she was immune to his words. "Brother Tang, is it okay?" "Very beautiful. You made my eyes light up." Tang Bao smiled and nodded. The waist of Qing Ju's gown had been treated, which made her waist look even slimmer. The color was slightly light, which complemented her milky white skin. Her hair was draped over her shoulders, making her slender neck faintly visible, giving her a sense of nobility. After Meng Shi looked at Qing Ju, he seemed to have thought of something. He frowned and looked at Tang Bao. "I heard that you found a newcomer 2 days ago?" "Yeah. Then I realized that the newcomer wasn't suitable, so I didn't sign her," Tang Bao said. "Even if she's suitable, you can't sign her," Meng Shi said like a tyrant. "Why can't you sign her?" Tang Bao glanced at him, indicating that he didn't understand. "Do you know how difficult it was for me to accept Qing Ju? I've already done my best to let her share your love for me. Now that there's a newcomer, if she dares to get close to you, I'll break her legs the next day." Qing Ju, who had been doted on, fell silent. "You don't have to think too much about this," Tang Bao said. "Then you won't find another newcomer in the future? Is this for me?" Meng Shi's eyes were sparkling. "What I mean is, you don't have to think too much about it. I'll definitely find another artist." When Tang Bao said this, Meng Shi instantly became listless like a frosted eggplant. Tang Bao ignored him. He stood up and walked to Qing Ju. He looked her up and down and then said to the salesperson, "Let's settle the bill." Then he went to settle the bill. Qing Ju was stunned for a moment and asked, "Brother Tang, aren't these clothes ours? Why do we need you to pay for them?" "Song, just buy it for me. Qing Ju can pay for it out of her own pocket." Meng Shi walked forward and put a hand on Qing Ju's shoulder. It was as if Qing Ju was an armrest that he could lean on. Qing Ju tried to shake him off but failed. She frowned and ignored him. Tang Bao turned around and glanced at them. "This is my gift to you. If you feel bad about it, you can earn more money for me." Qing Ju had no objections. She smiled and nodded. Meng Shi protested, "You're enslaving me." Then, he changed his tone and said shyly, "But I like being enslaved by you." Tang Bao chose to ignore him. However, the salesperson beside them looked like she was heartbroken. Even the female salesperson who went to settle the bill could not move. Only when Tang Bao reminded her did she come back to her senses. This was Meng Shi's charm. It was no wonder that he used to be such a playboy. This woman did not even need to be seduced by his gaze to look at him. Noticing the passers-by outside who kept taking photos inside, Tang Bao was worried that it would cause a traffic jam, so he said to them, "Hurry up and change your clothes and leave." Meng Shi took a look outside and simply carried Qing Ju inside. He did not want to be surrounded by people either. Although he should be used to it as a celebrity, Tang Ge was still around. He did not want Tang Ge to be surrounded too. He would not care about scolding passers-by in broad daylight. This precedent had been set a long time ago. Meng Shi and Qing Ju left first, followed by Tang Bao. Just as he was about to get into the car, "Ah, what a coincidence! You came to this street to buy clothes too?" At this moment, there were no longer any fans of Meng Shi and Qing Ju at the scene. It suddenly became empty, and they saw Lan Wanru at a glance. Tang Bao felt that although this woman's body was not good, her ability to linger around was perfect. Chapter 10-11. Is this something that I can control? I'm also here to buy clothes. Do you think I'll follow you? Lan Wanru asked, amused. Tang Bao thought to himself, that's not necessarily true. Once or twice is a coincidence, but it won't be in the future. Since it's a coincidence, then you probably didn't prepare anything to say to me. Besides, our relationship isn't that good. Tang Bao turned around and was about to get into the car. Although we're not on good terms, I can often see you online. Tang Ge, I can't tell that you're interested in women. Do you even have a man's function? Lan Wanru mocked. Tang Bao knew what Lan Wanru meant by seeing her online. As if he had heard something incredible, he turned around and looked at her. Lan Wanru, everyone says that you're gentle and graceful, a lady from a respectable family. Why are your words so crude? What do you mean by a man's function? You seem to be very curious about my man's function? How about this? Tang Bao looked into the distance. There's a public restroom over there. Let's go there and study my man's function? Wasn't he just flirting with Lan Wanru? Lan Wanru was so angry that her face turned pale. How can I go to a public restroom with a man like you? Why not? I still think that you're interested in me. Tang Bao said this on purpose, knowing that Lan Wanru wouldn't dare to do it. Lan Wanru didn't want to talk about the man's function with her, so she said with certainty, "You're really interested in women." Of course. I'm a man, so naturally, I like women more. I've never tried a woman like you. After all, I don't like women who are half dead. How can Brother Haotian tolerate a man like you? You're not even qualified to be drowned in a pig cage. Lan Wanru was so angry that her whole body was shaking. Drowned in a pig cage? I want to, but Brother Haotian can't bear to do it. When he saw the rumors online, although he scolded me, he still chose to believe me in the end. Reluctant? I think you're puffing yourself up at your own cost. Is it because Brother Haotian told you to get lost, so you played tricks and continued to stay by his side? I think that must be the case. Lan Wanru could only accept his own explanation. That's also my ability. Tang Bao smiled faintly. Lan Wanru was furious that Tang Bao had gained the upper hand. But when he thought of her next plan, his mood immediately improved. Tang Ge, keep that smug look on your face. I really want to know how long you can keep it up. Then why don't we wait and see? Tang Bao said with a fearless smile. After that, he got into the car. The car left the women's clothing store. Tang Bao sat in the back seat and suddenly felt that Lan Wanru was really pitiful. Perhaps there was something hateful about a pitiful person. I don't understand. It's clearly not something you should have, so why do you have to be so decisive? No matter how hard she tried, it was impossible for Di Haotian and Lan Wanru to have anything to do with each other. Lan Wanru didn't accept the fact that she was married to Di Haotian from the beginning. Until now, he was still pestering her. To be honest, Tang Bao also admired this kind of woman. But at the same time, he also felt that she was terrifyingly stubborn. Her mind was definitely twisted. She had just returned to tea. Yes, now that she was in tea, she definitely spent more time in tea than in the studio. If there was anything, they would look for her. They knew that she was in tea and wouldn't go anywhere else. There were rumors in the studio that she had an affair with T's young master. No, several affairs. Not only that, but she was also a strict housewife. Tang Bao was very unhappy with such rumors. Why was she a strict housewife? Was she not a henpecked husband? Tang Bao thought about it silently in his heart. He felt that his employee was right. Sigh, she had fallen. Perhaps she had fallen a long time ago. From the moment she first saw Di Haotian, the office door was pushed open. Tang Bao's expression froze when she saw Di Haotian sitting behind the desk and handling work. The secretary was also there, talking about something, and she just came in without knocking. Tang Bao thought to herself, this is really a bad habit. Seeing the secretary looking at her in shock, Tang Bao immediately smiled and said, I'll start over. As he said that, he was about to leave when he knocked on the door and entered. Start over for what? Come in. Di Haotian looked at Tang Bao sternly. Seeing that Di Haotian had given the order, Tang Bao had no choice but to go in and close the door. Actually, she had such a bad habit usually. It was just that the secretary wasn't inside at that time, so she didn't realize it. Was it too late to change now? Didn't he see the secretary's shocked face? Most importantly, Di Haotian was still helping the tyrant and making the best of her mistake. As soon as Tang Bao went in, the secretary was chased away by Di Haotian. Tang Bao was about to find the sofa to sit down when he heard Di Haotian say, Have you seen Lan Wanru? Tang Bao paused in his action of sitting down. He didn't need to think to know that it was the chauffeur who told him about it. He reported it so quickly. I saw her. She misses you dearly, so there's nothing you can do about it. I think she's just thinking about you pitifully. Why don't? Tang Bao met Di Haotian's cold eyes and stopped talking. He touched his nose and said, I'll go get some water. He stood up and was about to leave. Drink mine. Di Haotian pushed the cup in front of him. Tang Bao looked over and saw that it was Di Haotian's cup. He couldn't help but hesitate. There's no need, right? That's your cup. Oh. You've already eaten my saliva. What's wrong with the cup? When Tang Bao heard this, he felt that it was necessary to correct him. You're the one who ate my saliva. We ate each other. Tang Bao used drinking water as an excuse. He couldn't not drink it now. Wouldn't that be giving Di Haotian a chance to talk about it? Hence, he went forward to take the cup and pressed his lips against the edge of the cup. He wondered if he had touched the spot where Di Haotian drank water. He felt a little embarrassed when he thought about it. What did she say to you? Di Haotian asked. It's a cliché. She saw the news on the internet saying that I betrayed you. She asked me why you fell in love with a man like me. She's fighting for justice for you. Tang Bao said as he held the cup. Di Haotian put his arm around her waist and let her sit on his firm thighs. Tang Bao held the cup in his hand and didn't dare to struggle. He was afraid that the water would spill out. She was a little concerned that this was an office. Di Haotian didn't care. It didn't matter if she couldn't. Someone will come in. Tang Bao glared at him unhappily. Even if she knew that she was a woman, she could not bear to be stared at with that kind of thought. What are you afraid of? Lan Wanru already said that I'm not good enough for you. If others say that, they'll say that I'm a demoness who brings disaster to the country. Chapter 10-12. Tang Bao's face turned hot and red when he heard these words that were filled with love and adoration. The gossip online didn't stir up much of a storm, and soon it was quiet again. Such an outcome was unacceptable to those who had ill intentions and wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to suppress them. Why were the unlucky ones still alive and well? Even complacent? What was the reason? Was their love so deep that they were willing to abandon their principles? They couldn't figure out what was going on. Wan Milei usually lived with her parent. As for He-Ju's villa, she rarely went there. He-Ju didn't usually live at home, so she didn't go. It was a big house, and it would be empty if she lived alone. What's more, the two of them had just had a breakthrough. If she went there, would he think she had tasted the sweetness and want to go again? That was absolutely impossible. Juan Millet had tasted the sweetness, and what it was like to be paralyzed. She felt He-Ju had been holding it in for a long, long time. Otherwise he wouldn't be so thirsty. Really? As the family of 3 ate, Juan Millet's mother asked, "Is He-Ju busy? When are you going to call him back for dinner?" "Mom, he just came over for dinner last week. Why is he here again?" Juan Millet thought. Was He-Ju's existence more important than her? Father Juan couldn't help but laugh. Your mother is like a mother-in-law looking at a son-in-law. The more she looks at him, the more she likes him. I like He-Ju. Don't you like him? Every time he comes over for dinner, he plays chess and drinks with you. I see you're so happy you can't close your mouth. Yes. I'm happy, but he has work. He can't always come here. Juan Millet ate with her head down and didn't comment. In the past, the conversation at the dinner table was always about her. It was about work, when she would find a boyfriend, when she would go on a blind date. No matter what, it had always revolved around her. Now, it had become He-Ju. Those who didn't know better would think that He-Ju was his biological daughter, and that she was just an unloved daughter-in-law. Why aren't you talking? Juan Millet's mother was very dissatisfied with Juan Millet's silence, and only gave her a slight push. Juan Millet had an innocent look on his face, as if he had no idea what they were talking about. Then, he asked, "What do you want me to say? I told you that he's busy with work, and can't come over to eat all the time. Otherwise, he'll be fired by his boss. How is he going to raise your daughter in the future?" Juan Millet thought that after she said this, Mother of Juan would agree with her. You shouldn't say things like that. Girls need to be independent, otherwise they'll look down on you. I'm not saying He-Ju looks down on you. He's not that kind of person. He just felt that this shouldn't be the case. Do you hear me? Juan Millet felt that her mother was definitely a modern woman. Parents would love nothing more than for their daughter to marry a rich man and be a young mistress at home. She wouldn't need to do any work. She was the exact opposite. Juan Millet didn't know if she was her biological daughter. For the first time, she had a deep suspicion. The sudden knock on the door saved Juan Millet from her predicament. She hurried to open the door. When she opened it, she saw an unfamiliar man in uniform standing in the doorway. In his hand was a small gift box. "Hello, are you Miss Juan Millet?" "Yes, I am. What is it?" "This is your gift. Please sign here." My gift? From who? Juan Millet was surprised. How come she didn't know she'd get a gift? "Once you open it, you'll know who it is," the man said. Juan Millet took the gift box and watched as the man turned and left. Strange, who was so mysterious? She closed the door and walked back into the house. "What's this?" she asked. "I don't know. I'll go back to my room to take a look." Since she didn't know what it was outside, she wanted to go back to her room to take a look. What if it wasn't convenient for her parents to see it? However, the gift box was exquisite and heavy in her hand. It shouldn't be anything bad, right? Who would give something bad and make the gift box so beautiful? After returning to her room, she went outside and opened the gift box. She was instantly blinded by the gown in the gift box. Not only was there a gown, but there were also shoes and a set of jewelry. There was even a postcard on top of it. She opened it and saw a few words. Songhong banquet gown. He-Ju. He-Ju was the one who gave it? Juan Millet couldn't be more shocked. She didn't even tell him in advance. How did he know that she needed a gown? Moreover, she didn't tell He-Ju about it. There was only one possibility. He heard about it from somewhere else. Either Tang Bao said it, or he heard it from someone else. Juan Millet was still worried about where to buy a gown. She couldn't bear to buy something too expensive, but something too cheap wouldn't look good and wouldn't be presentable. Wan Malay took the gown out of the box. She was very careful, afraid that she would wrinkle it or ruin it. She tested it in front of the mirror. She felt that it looked good even before she wore it. If she wore it, wouldn't she be as beautiful as a fairy? It was the first time she wore such a beautiful gown, and it was even given by her boyfriend? It was incredible. Wan Malay wanted to see how much the gown cost, but she couldn't see the tag. It must have been cut off. In her opinion, this gown was definitely not cheap. It might even be very expensive. Otherwise, why would Ju cut off the tag? He must have deliberately not let her see it. However, no matter how cheap or expensive the gown was, Wan Malay had a trace of sweetness in her heart. Yu Lian, Wan Malay, Luololi, and Red 7 were all going to the banquet. They also contacted each other to look at the gowns, and then dragged the Tang Bao along. However, Red 7 said that they didn't have time to go. There were gowns at home, so they could go. Hence, the three of them went directly to Ibao Studio. Why didn't the three of them go to the Tang Bao on weekends? Why did they have to go to work on weekdays? Firstly, Yu Lian and Wan Marai had settled down at work. That meant that they had free time to move around. This was where the leaders were more awesome. Secondly, the three of them were no longer single. They would never waste such an important time like the weekend. Although Luololi was free to work, Gu Linshan was busy. However, no matter how busy Gu Linshan was, he would still accompany Luololi on weekends. Hence, even if Luololi wanted to go out on weekends, it would depend on whether Gu Linshan allowed it. The key this time was that Luololi told Gu Linshan 3 days in advance. This was a rule set by Gu Linshan. Chapter 10-13. Sister Yu, Miss Wan, screenwriter Luo. Xiao Ding greeted them warmly. Yu Lian asked, "Where's President Tang?" Xiao Ding smiled hesitantly. "President Tang is a little busy." "Busy?" Wan Malay looked at the time on the wall. "It's already 3 o'clock. What's she busy with?" It was because she knew that Tang Bao wouldn't be busy in the afternoon. Tang Bao also said that she would be very free in the afternoon, so she came at this time. Xiao Ding smiled embarrassedly again. "President Tang is busy in tea." Yu Lian. Wan Malay. Luololi. Xiao Ding was very fond of Yu Lian. In front of her idol, she would never let her down, so she volunteered. "I'll call President Tang." Then she went to make the call. Luololi asked Yu Lian and Wan Malay very seriously, "If we call Tang Bao, will the young master be angry?" Yu Lian and Wan Malay both nodded vigorously. "Then what should we do? We didn't know that Tang Bao would be in tea." Yu Lian looked at Wan Malay. "Didn't you say that Tang Bao must be bored out of his mind in the studio?" Wan Malay lowered his head like a child who had done something wrong. He looked especially innocent. "How would I know that it would be so unlucky?" After the call, Xiao Ding came over to speak for her. "It's not a coincidence. President Tang is in tea every afternoon and not in the studio. So, it doesn't matter which day it is." The three of them were dumbfounded once again. Yu Lian came back to her senses. "Then how was your call just now?" Xiao Ding smiled and said, "I'm sorry, I called twice but no one picked up. Then I called T's secretarial department, and the secretary kindly told me not to disturb President Tang and the young master at this time." Xiao Ding had a letter to contact the secretary in the secretarial department, but for some reason, she heard a tremor in the secretary's voice. Was it an illusion? "So what do we do now?" Luololi asked. It wasn't easy for her to get out. She also had to report to Gu Linshan in advance. This was even more difficult than applying for leave from a proper job in a proper company. "Call Ju." Yu Lian looked at Wan Malay. Wan Malay was shocked and pointed at himself. "Why me? You can also call Vice President Zhou. His position is higher than Ju's. Why shouldn't it be you? You were the one who said that Tang Bao was in the studio." That's why we chose to believe you without any hesitation and came here, Yu Lianlian said matter-of-factly. Wan Milei was speechless. Fine. She was the one who said it. She was really unlucky to have to call He Ju under such great pressure. She took her phone and hid in a corner to call He Ju. He'll be back soon. Looking at the expression on Wan Milei's face, it was clear that there was no hope. It's your turn to call, Yu Lianlian said to Luoluoli. What? Me? Who should I call? I don't know the people around the young emperor. Luoluoli was stunned for a moment. Your man, Yu Lianlian said. Man. Luoluoli remembered who she was talking about and said uncertainly, their relationship isn't very good, right? In the entire imperial city, who doesn't know that the young emperor and young Master Gu are in cahoots? Yu Lianlian asked. Luoluoli wanted to say that because of the Tang Bao incident, their relationship seemed to be not as good as before, right? But since they were already here, they had to give it a try. Thus, Luoluoli called Gu Linshan. Hello, little uncle, can you do me a favor? Tang Bao is at the young emperor's place now, and we can't contact him. Can you call the young emperor and ask him to tell Tang Bao that we're waiting for him in his studio? What's in it for me? A deep voice came through unceremoniously. When Luoluoli heard this, she knew that something was wrong. She quickly ran out of the studio to answer the call and said embarrassedly, What do you want? You understand. Luoluoli protested silently. She didn't want to understand at all, okay? However, she did understand. Why couldn't she be more idiotic? There was no benefit to being smart. What if I don't agree? Then there's nothing to say. I'm hanging up. Wait, I agree. I agree, okay? Luoluoli compromised. How could she not agree at this time? If she didn't agree, those two people might ask her to make a second call. They might even question whether she had any weight in Gu Linshan's heart. Although she agreed, Luoluoli wasn't stupid. She said, I agree, but not only do you have to call the young emperor, but you also have to ask the Tang Bao to come out and see us. Otherwise, I'll stay at my mother's place tonight. Gu Linshan's face darkened. When the time came, they would have to bargain and threaten him. Back then, when he was in the Middle East, who dared to threaten him? One look from him could make that group of people kill themselves. As for now, he just wanted to push this girl who threatened him down on the bed and ravage her. Wait. After Luoluoli finished the call, she returned to the studio. Wan Milei asked, How was it? Did you manage to contact him? My little uncle told us to wait. Luoluoli nodded. Yu Lianlian smiled in satisfaction. Wan Milei said regretfully, If I had known, I would have asked you to call young Master Gu. Then I wouldn't have needed to call He Ju. Isn't it good to let you make more calls? But it'll increase your relationship, Wan Milei said. She didn't know what was wrong with her. When she was talking about other people's men, she was super thick-skinned, but when she was talking about herself, she wanted to shrink her face into her neck. Wan Milei's face heated up, but she didn't say anything. She ran to the side and sat down. After Gu Linshan finished the call with Luoluoli, he called Di Haotian. But no one picked up. At this moment, Di Haotian's phone was almost 10 feet away from his lounge. It was on his desk, mixed with the high-class documents, so it wasn't too lonely. But the vibrations didn't stop. After making 2 calls, Gu Linshan hung up impatiently. It seemed that the phone was definitely not with Di Haotian. Even if he called someone else and asked them to inform Di Haotian, he didn't have the guts to do so. Give up? No, for the sake of tonight's sex, he couldn't let his little sweetheart down. Thus, young Master Gu picked up his jacket, put it on, and left the office. In the studio, the 3 of them chatted as they drank tea and waited. Yu Lianlian looked at the time. We have to wait half an hour just to make a call? They won't quarrel, right? Wan Milei asked with a bad feeling. I'm not sure, Luoluoli said. What kind of person was Di Haotian? No one dared to provoke him. And Gu Linshan wasn't a pushover either. Would they really quarrel? Chapter 10:14. Some of the staff noticed the cars parked in the plaza outside. There were even bodyguards' cars behind them. They were similar to De Houtien's. The three of them got up and walked to the door to take a look. Then, they saw the tall figure of Gu Linchen getting out of the car. Little uncle. Lualuali couldn't believe it. After getting out of the car, Gu Linchen glanced at the studio and then walked towards T. Yu Lianlian raised her eyebrows at Lualuali. I didn't expect young Master Gu to come personally for you. Lualuali blushed in embarrassment. No wonder it takes so long to make a phone call. It turns out that he's coming to tea. Wan Malay was happy. I can finally see Tang Bao. It's not easy to see her. Yu Lianlian shook her head and sighed. Next time, we have to tell her in advance. As Gu Linchen approached the office, He-ju blocked his way. Gu Linchen's expression instantly changed. What are you doing? Get out of my way. Young Master D is resting. It's not convenient to disturb him. Not even me? Young Master D has instructed that no one can disturb him. I think that includes you, He-ju said in a neither servile nor overbearing manner. Gu Linchen's expression was gloomy and terrifying. Try and stop him then. After saying that, he was about to rush in. He-ju went up and attacked him directly. Then, the two of them started fighting. Right at the door of T's highest authority office. One moment they kicked the wall, the next moment they hit the door. In any case, the fight was very intense. To be honest, He-ju had gone through all kinds of hellish training in the army. However, Gu Linchen had spent more than 10 years in the Middle East, a place that didn't seem like the human world. In comparison, He-ju definitely couldn't beat Gu Linchen. In the lounge, the two of them were entangled together and couldn't be separated. No matter how the walls shook or what sounds they made, Tang Bao couldn't tell at all. In her hearing, only the huge commotion created by De Houtien covered everything. The only one who could tell was probably De Houtien. However, his movements did not stop. In the end, Tang Bao's mind went blank. He screamed and fainted. De Houtien kissed Tang Bao's sweaty forehead and got up to wipe her body. The warm towel gently wiped every part of her body, as if he was treating a rare treasure. He could never finish wiping her body. Don't. The unconscious Tang Bao's body instinctively resisted. The corners of De Houtien's lips curled up into a sexy and charming smile as he planted a soft kiss on Tang Bao's lips. Tang Bao, who had fainted for a short while, slowly regained consciousness. He opened his eyes and looked at De Houtien. Even though his eyes were slightly open, they seemed to be filled by De Houtien's figure. She said weakly, "Don't come again, I won't." At this moment, there was a loud bang outside the door. When Tang Bao heard it, he was stunned. "What's that noise outside?" "Don't worry about it. Go to sleep. I'll go take a look." Tang Bao's eyes were still darting around. De Houtien pressed his thin lips against hers. When Tang Bao saw his shadow, she quickly closed her eyes. De Houtien did it on purpose. When he saw her close her eyes, his dark eyes were infinitely infatuated and doting. "Be good. Go to sleep." "Okay," Tang Bao responded. He-ju kept pestering Gu Linchen outside and was also beaten up badly by Gu Linchen. His face was bruised and Gu Linchen's clothes were disheveled. However, no matter how disheveled he was, it was not as disheveled as De Houtien's when he opened the door of his office. He was only wearing his pajamas. The color was terrifying. Gu Linchen stopped beating him and looked at De Houtien from head to toe. "You're finally willing to come out? I have something to talk to you about." De Houtien's expression was cold and gloomy. He did not welcome him at all. "I know I've interrupted you, but if you weren't done, you wouldn't have come out. So, if you're not dissatisfied, you should treat your brother better." Gu Linchen ignored De Houtien's cold expression. Then, he stood in front of De Houtien and asked, "Is Tang Bao still able to get out of bed? You're looking for her?" De Houtien's expression became even colder, even with a hint of viciousness. That's all in the past. You don't have to guard against me. I'm already married. Besides, I'm already very magnanimous that I didn't come to settle the score with you for what happened on the internet last time. Go and tell Tang Bao that Luoluoli and the rest have been waiting for her in the office for an hour. Di Haotian's expression was cold as he closed the door. Gu Linshan supported himself with one hand. Don't tell me I'm going to fight with you again? You put in a lot of effort in bed just now, so I won't take advantage of you. Tang Bao was standing behind him. She had heard the first part of the conversation, so naturally she had also heard the second part. However, she deliberately ignored it. You said that Luoli is in my office? Di Haotian's expression darkened. He was not angry, but his expression was stern. Who allowed you to get out of bed? Gu Linshan said with a hint of mockery. I thought you had her down, but it turns out that you can't do it. Di Haotian's aura was surging violently. Tang Bao quickly rebuked Gu Linshan. You're just jealous. I heard from Luoli that you couldn't satisfy her. She even said that you're amazing. You only did the same few positions back and forth. Gu Linshan's expression froze. Di Haotian's violent aura was finally able to suppress him. Otherwise, he would really have fought with Gu Linshan. Tang Bao looked at Gu Linshan's livid expression and turned to return to the lounge. After Di Haotian entered the lounge, he saw Tang Bao changing her clothes. You're not allowed to go. You knew that I would go, Tang Bao said. Di Haotian went forward and picked her up, pressing her back onto the bed. Should I make you lie down on the bed? Tang Bao intimately clung onto his shoulders and hugged his neck. You always deliberately let me off in the afternoon. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have the strength to open my eyes, let alone get out of bed. Di Haotian pinched her chin with his long and rough fingers and kissed her hard on the lip. Di Haotian let go of her little mouth. His dark eyes were deep and his voice was hoarse. Don't make any sound or I won't let you go. Tang Bao instinctively pursed her lips. After putting on her men's clothes, she walked out of the tea studio. The moment she entered the studio, she saw Gu Linshan was also there. His gaze was as if he wanted to pierce her heart with 1,000 arrows. Luoluoli hid behind Wan Malay, so Wan Malay would have to bear the brunt of Gu Linshan's arrows. When she saw Tang Bao, Wan Malay heaved a sigh of relief. She was afraid that if Tang Bao did not appear, she would be destroyed. Luoluoli was really too much. Why didn't she hide behind Yu Lianlian when she pushed her out? She had really become a little cannon fodder. Most importantly, Yu Lianlian acted as if it had nothing to do with her and hid far away from the staff. Xiaoding originally wanted to ask who was causing trouble in the studio, but when faced with Gu Linshan's aura, she decided to be a coward. Come here. Gu Linshan looked at Luoluoli. Chapter 10-15. When Tang Bao saw this, he quickly stepped forward. Gu Linshan, are you bullying her because she doesn't have any siblings? I was just spouting nonsense. Why would Lolita say that to me? Who said that? Gu Linshan looked at her coldly. Then what is it? I think it's better for Lolita to stay away from you so that she won't be led astray by you. Was she really that bad? Tang Bao reflected on himself. When he came back to his senses, he said, Gu Linshan, the four of us happen to have something on. Why don't you teach Lolita to stay away from us when she goes back? Luoluoli looked at Tang Bao in disbelief. You're making me look heartless. As if sensing Luoluoli's emotions, Wan Malay turned to look at her, as if telling her to calm down. Luoluoli wanted to as well, but it wasn't her. She wouldn't understand. Didn't it hurt to talk while standing? Gu Linshan glanced at Luoluoli coldly and turned to leave. Seeing Gu Linshan get into the car and drive away, she heaved a sigh of relief. Yu Lianlian asked curiously, What did you say to young Master Gu? What did he say? That would really make people blush when they heard it. Nothing much. Well, why are you looking for me? Tang Bao changed the topic and asked. Let's go shopping and look at presents. Aren't we going to attend a banquet? We're definitely going to buy gowns. After shopping, we'll go for dinner. After dinner, we'll go home, Yu Lianlian said. Shopping. God, she had just suffered an unbearable blow in Di Haotian's lounge, and now she was going shopping right after she got out of bed? And she was even going to eat outside? She had to tell Di Haotian about dinner. Is there a problem? Luo Luoli asked as she came out from behind Wan Malay. No problem. I was just thinking, why didn't you tell me in advance that you were coming? Gu Linshan said that you guys waited for me for an hour? Tang Bao was surprised. Yeah, who knew you would be at tea? Yu Lianlian approached Tang Bao and whispered, I seem to smell the essence of a man. Tang Bao was so frightened that he immediately moved away from Yu Lianlian. His face was red as he waited for her. Ha 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 ha, you're so cute. I was just kidding. Tang Bao's reaction only confirmed Yu Lianlian's guess. The others did not hear what Yu Lianlian said to Tang Bao, but looking at Tang Bao's red face, it was not something good. By the way, where's Red 7? Tang Bao asked when he realized that someone was missing. Luo Luoli said, Red 7 said she doesn't have time, and she won't be coming because she has a gown at home. The three of them were looking at gowns in the clothing store. Yu Lianlian chose one, Luo Luoli chose one, and Tang Bao also chose one. Only Wan Malay stood there and did not seem to want to buy it. Do you think it's too expensive? Tang Bao asked. Wan Malay was not born rich and had always been thrifty, so he might not be able to accept the price of this store. Yeah. It's too expensive. Wan Malay nodded and admitted. It's not that expensive, right? This gown is only about 10,000 yuan. With your salary, you're already qualified to enjoy this kind of petty luxury, Yu Lianlian said. How about this, I'll pay for it first, and you can pay me in installments. This. Wan Malay hesitated. Tang Bao looked at Wan Malay's expression and asked, Why do I feel that you're not buying it because it's too expensive? How can you tell? Wan Malay was surprised. Just like what you said to me before, this is the first day I met you. Tell me honestly, what's the secret? Tang Bao asked. Okay. I'll tell you. He Ju bought me a gown, Wan Malay asked. Yu Lianlian covered her head with the gown. What a public display of affection. You can't blame me for that. I didn't know. Tang Bao must have told He Ju about it. Otherwise, why would he buy a gown? Wan Malay defended himself. I didn't say that. He must have heard it when I was talking to Di Haotian, Tang Bao said innocently. Anyway, I didn't mention it to him, Wan Malay said. Lan Wanru walked into the clean and tidy neighborhood alone. He got into the elevator and stopped in front of a house on a certain floor. He knocked on the door and soon, the door opened. The person who opened the door was Chen Zhaodi. However, her face was wrapped in gauze, and even her eyes were covered. Her facial features couldn't be seen. However, the person standing at the door could be seen clearly. Miss Lan. Lan Wanru nodded, went in, and closed the door. Besides Chen Zhaodi, there was also a middle-aged man and a female assistant. Can we remove the gauze today? Lan Wanru asked the man. Yes, the middle-aged man said. Then let's start. Lan Wanru sat down at the seat next to him. He watched as the middle-aged man began to remove the gauze for Chen Zhaodi. Chen Zhaodi, who was sitting on the stool, was very nervous. She was afraid that her face would be ruined and become ugly. However, Lan Wanru was even more nervous than her. She was afraid that her face wouldn't look like Tang Bao. That would be too much of a waste of her time and ruin her plan. The gauze was removed layer by layer. With each layer removed, the tension in the air deepened. When the gauze on her face was completely removed, Chen Zhaodi faced Lan Wanru. Lan Wanru was stunned when he saw that face. Chen Zhaodi looked at the stunned Lan Wanru. She was very nervous and asked cautiously, Miss Lan, how's my face? It's not ruined, is it? A smile appeared on Lan Wanru's face, gentle and satisfied. Go look at yourself in the mirror. Lan Wanru said. Chen Zhaodi didn't know whether it was good or not. Lan Wanru also didn't say anything. She could only quickly find a mirror to look at her current appearance. When she got the mirror and saw her face in it, Chen Zhaodi was stunned. Was this still her face? Was she sure? If she didn't touch her face with her own hands, she wouldn't dare to believe that she could be so beautiful. It was a world of difference from before. This was simply too magical. Chen Zhaodi couldn't bear to put down the mirror and look away. She liked this face too much. Lan Wanru looked at her infatuated face and felt uncomfortable in his heart. Who knew how much she hated this face? It used to be her nightmare. Now that the person was dead, she had to face this face again for her own purposes. Chen Zhaodi still had to look stunned. Wasn't this saying that Tang Bao was beautiful? Would she feel comfortable? All right, you don't have to keep looking at yourself in the mirror. Lan Wanru reminded her. Chen Zhaodi came back to her senses and walked in front of Lan Wanru. Miss Lan, thank you very much. I'm very satisfied with this face. You're not the only one who's satisfied. I'm also satisfied. Although it's only 60 to 70% similar to Tang Bao, it's enough. No matter how good a plastic surgeon is, it's impossible to make someone look exactly like another person. Chapter 10:16. As long as I achieve my goal, I'll definitely be grateful to you. I believe you have the ability. Who wouldn't like a pretty face? Oh yeah, I can tell you a secret. What secret? Lan Wanru looked at the middle-aged man and the female assistant. You guys can leave first. I'm very satisfied with the results of your plastic surgery. Thank you, thank you. The middle-aged man and the female assistant left. Lan Wanru continued. That Wang Zhu you know, Director Wang, do you feel that there's something wrong between him and Ding Miao Miao? Chen Zhaodi thought for a while and said, every time I go, I only see Wang Zhu. I don't see Ding Miao Miao or anyone else. Is that the reason? Wang Zhu's surname is Wang, and Ding Miao Miao's surname is Ding. Why do they come to see Ding Miao Miao so eagerly? Don't you think it's strange? Chen Zhaodi still couldn't understand the problem. Ding Miao Miao is the niece of Wang Zhu's wife, not his. There's nothing strange about him visiting Ding Miao Miao, but his eagerness makes people feel that there's something wrong. Later on, I went to investigate and found out that Wang Zhu is actually a womanizer. You mean? Chen Zhaodi's eyes widened. Ding Miao Miao and Wang Zhu have that kind of relationship? What I want to tell you is that in that kind of industry this kind of thing is very normal. There are all kinds of desires everywhere, and the desire between men and women is the most common. After you go in, you'll encounter it too. But Director Wang doesn't look like that kind of person. Chen Zhaodi was still in shock. Lan Wanru laughed at her naivety and then taught her, you can go to the hospital to see Wang Zhu again. Of course, you can't tell him that you're Chen Zhaodi. From today onwards, Chen Zhaodi is dead. When you appear in front of Wang Zhu again, you'll be a new person. It doesn't matter if you're Ding Miao Miao's classmates or friends. Then, Wang Zhu will be your stepping stone. Once you get him, you'll win. I heard that Song Hong's company annual meeting is coming soon. You'll be able to meet many big stars and even the higher-ups of Song Hong. This is your only chance. It's up to you whether or not you want to seize this opportunity. But can Wang Zhu take the bait? Chen Zhaodi asked. He even wants his own wife's niece. This shows that this person's character isn't that good. You can rest assured about this, Lan Wanru said with certainty. Even if Chen Zhaodi was hesitant, she had already reached this point. Was there any room for her to retreat? The bright and dazzling star was the focus of everyone's attention. It was as if thousands of spotlights had fallen on her. There was also the money that she could not earn by working hard. They were all what she wanted. So what if he had a body? In the face of vanity, it was not worth mentioning. Chen Zhaodi went to the hospital again with flowers in her hands. When she knocked on the door, she saw Wang Zhu. She deliberately chose this time to come. Then, he noticed the kindness in Wang Zhu's eyes. This was a treatment that Chen Zhaodi did not receive. Hello, I'm Mia. I'm here to see Meow Meow. Who are you to Meow Meow? She's a friend I met when I was dancing. I heard that something happened to her, so I hurried over to take a look, Chen Zhaodi said. Then come in. After entering, she placed the flowers by the bed and looked at Ding Meow Meow, who was still unconscious on the bed. She said sadly, "What happened to her? I heard that she fell down the stairs." "Yes, it was an accident. She's so pitiful. I hope she wakes up soon, just like before." Chen Zhaodi wiped her tears. "She'll get better. You don't have to be too sad," Wang Zhu said. Chen Zhaodi straightened up. When she turned around, she gauged the distance between her and Wang Zhu. Then, she tripped. Ouch! Wang Zhu hugged her immediately. "Are you okay?" Chen Zhaodi looked up and looked at Wang Zhu lovingly. Wang Zhu hugged her soft and delicate body. A faint fragrance wafted into her nose. It was not like the perfume that female celebrities wore. It was very alluring. Chen Zhaodi came back to her senses and straightened up immediately. "Sorry, did I bump into you?" "It's fine. You said that you're Mia? Are you a dancer too?" Wang Zhu could not help but initiate a conversation with her. "Yes, I'm a dancer." Wang Zhu's gaze fell on Chen Zhaodi's body. Her body was curvy and light, and she did look like a dancer. She nodded in satisfaction. Then, she said, "Are you interested in entering the entertainment industry?" The entertainment industry? I originally wanted to let her play the female lead after she finished the physical training. The female lead needs to know how to dance, but with Meow Meow's current state, she definitely won't be able to participate. So I thought, why don't I let you take her place? If you play the role, it'll definitely be better than finding someone with no foundation. Chen Zhaodi could not hide her happiness and gratitude. "Thank you so much. I used to think about becoming a famous actress in the entertainment industry, but I didn't because of my studies. I always thought that I wouldn't have a chance, but I didn't expect. Thank you so much. I also have to thank Meow Meow. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't have this chance. Leave your contact information so that I can find you more easily." "Okay," Chen Zhaodi agreed. Lan Wanru was right, and so was her decision. If she hadn't changed her face, how could Wang Zhu have let her play the female lead the first time they met? How many times had she come when she had Chen Zhaodi's face? Wang Zhu had never mentioned anything about being an actress or a celebrity. It seemed that a face was a very important pass. With this face, she could have everything. Chen Zhaodi liked this face more and more. She had to take good care of this face to serve this face. Song Hong's annual gala, needless to say, would definitely be filled with dazzling stars. Big stars, famous directors, and people with more or less other identities. The date was specially set to be the weekend. Tang Bao stood in the fitting room and had just taken off her pajamas. Yes, that's right, it was almost 3 o'clock, and Tang Bao had just taken off her pajamas. It was obvious that he had just gotten out of bed not long ago. As for why it hadn't been long, you had to ask the main culprit, Di Haotian. It was written clearly in the agreement that she could rest on the weekend. 2 days. And Di Haotian knew that he couldn't do it for 2 days, so he might as well go crazy on Friday night. For Tang Bao it was like Black Friday. It was a deadly day. She always felt that the moment her mind went blank was the moment of her death. When Di Haotian did it with her, Tang Bao would have the illusion that the thing on top of her wasn't a human. Instead, it was an extremely dangerous ancient beast that came from the depths of the forest. After taking off her pajamas, her originally white and flawless skin was covered with red marks. Tang Bao's trypophobia was about to act up. Chapter 10:17. Fortunately, the clothes she was going to return were suits and leather shoes, so she could wrap herself up tightly. If she were to wear a gown, she would definitely not be able to wrap herself up. As soon as she took off her pajamas, Di Haotian entered the walk-in closet. He was so punctual that Tang Bao wondered if he had calculated the time to come. Wrapped up from behind, Tang Bao fell into his strong and broad chest. He asked in an abnormally low and hoarse voice, "What are you looking at? What do you think I'm looking at?" Tang Bao's face was red from the smoke. "Don't you know what you're doing? If others see this, they'll think that I'm suffering from domestic violence." Di Haotian blew into her ear, and Tang Bao's body went limp. If she was not being hugged, she would have fallen. She felt the skin on her neck burning, and her whole body was trembling with fear. If she could not control her body, Di Haotian would. She had just woken up. "Di Haotian, you let go of me. I'm going to put on my clothes," Tang Bao said with her eyes lowered. Her fair face was red, and she did not dare to look at herself in the mirror. The image of being naked in Di Haotian's arms was too. "I want to continue looking at the traces of domestic violence." You dare." Tang Bao was really afraid that Di Haotian would do it again. She said nervously, "I have to get ready for the banquet. If he does it again, Can I still go?" She had rested for so long before getting out of bed. Wasn't it because she didn't want to look weak at the banquet? Even if Di Haotian only did it once, it would not end so quickly. Di Haotian chuckled, took the clothes next to him, and helped her put them on. Tang Bao was so stunned that she forgot to raise her hand. Di Haotian stuffed her hand into her sleeve. Was he helping her put on her clothes? Tang Bao heaved a sigh of relief. She felt really insecure without clothes on. After putting on the shirt, Tang Bao tried to button it up, but Di Haotian beat him to it. He helped her buckle them one by one. The tall figure stood in front of her, his shadow shrouding her body. Tang Bao could feel the strong pressure coming from Di Haotian. He lowered his eyes slightly and did not dare to look at Di Haotian. When she was in her teens, she had seen her mother put on a tie for her father. She was so focused and affectionate. Even now, Tang Bao could not forget that scene. Later on, when he grew up, he understood that the love between husband and wife was rare and precious. It wasn't the kind of service where men were superior to women, but love. If men were superior to women, what was Di Haotian doing now? Tang Bao, who had been looking down, suddenly wanted to see the expression on Di Haotian's face at this moment. Was he also as focused and affectionate? Tang Bao suppressed her nervousness and looked up. Her clear eyes suddenly trembled slightly. His handsome and cold facial features were perfectly chiseled. His long eyelashes could only be seen from his dark eyes. It was as if he only had eyes for the buttons in his hands and was obsessed with them. No, he was not only obsessed with the row of buttons but also with her. This kind of obsessed look was really too sexy. Tang Bao's heart was beating wildly. She tiptoed and kissed Di Haotian's thin lips gently. She wrapped her arms around Di Haotian's neck and buried her face in his chest as if she was unwilling to let go. She seemed to be quite embarrassed. She kissed him out of the blue. "Do you not want to go to the banquet?" Di Haotian's low and hoarse voice sounded, with a hint of a beast's danger. "I'll help you put on a tie every morning from now on." Tang Bao's face was red and she did not dare to look up. Otherwise, he would see her shyness. When she said this sentence, she was already very shy. "Okay." Di Haotian hugged her even tighter, as if he wanted to rub her into his body. "But you can't make me unable to get out of bed. Only then can I help you put on a tie." "Then forget it." Di Haotian rejected her flatly. Tang Bao was speechless. He wanted her to be unable to get out of bed. Di Haotian insisted on sending her personally. Along the way in the car, Tang Bao resisted Di Haotian's touch and was almost desperate. In the end, her clothes were a little messy because of him. Fortunately, Di Haotian had a conscience and helped her tidy up her clothes when he got out of the car. Only then did he get out of the car. After getting out of the car, Tang Bao walked toward the banquet. After entering, she saw Yu Lianlian and the others chatting together. Just as Tang Bao was about to walk over, Song Hong came over to greet her. "CEO Tang, you're finally here. I was just asking your artistes when you would arrive. I thought you weren't coming and was about to call you. You're really late. Haha, I'm sorry, CEO Zhao. Something happened and I was delayed. CEO Zhao took the wine beside him. Come, let's have a drink first. Okay. Tang Bao was also straightforward and drank a glass with Zhao Shijin. In the distance, Yu Lianlian and the others all looked at Tang Bao. I really couldn't tell, Yu Lianlian said. Qing Ju asked, couldn't tell what? Meng Shi also did not understand what she meant. Because they did not know that Tang Bao's real identity was a woman. Living like this, she was almost no different from a man. She dared to accept anything. She was not pretentious at all. I couldn't tell that her drinking posture is so handsome, Yu Lianlian said as she stared at Tang Bao without blinking. Qing Ju and Meng Shi did not refute this reason. If she did not have this courage, she would not be so influential in the entertainment industry. It was obvious that they were right to follow Tang Bao back then. At that time, Tang Go was just a gigolo with no background in the entertainment industry. They did not know that he would become more and more influential now. This was all because of Tang Ji's smart mind. Meng Shi could not help but feel that she had a good eye for choosing an agent. How much do you think she can drink? Wan Malay asked. Well, it's hard to say. Yu Lianlian was not too sure. What do you mean? Luoluali asked. Anyway, it's quite difficult. But I think she knows that she can't hold her liquor well and knows her limits. Yu Lianlian was even more uncertain. I don't think she knows her limits. I've known her for so many years. Once she starts bragging, I can't stop her. Wan Malay rolled his eyes indecently. Luoluali laughed at the side. What if she gets drunk? How's her alcohol tolerance? Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. It all depends on luck. Wan Malay shook his head and sighed. Those who don't know would think that she and Zhao Shijin hit it off. Yu Lianlian could not help but admire Tang Bao's social skills. In the past, when Tang Bao was in Kuchen, he was a hopeless ado. It seemed that it was not that she was incapable, but that she was unwilling. Hit it off? I think it's more like head square. Wan Malay was amused. The people around them laughed. Chapter 10:18. Luoluali said, We're talking about your alcohol tolerance. My alcohol tolerance is definitely better than Wan Malay's, Tang Bao said with certainty. You don't have to put yourself down and belittle me, do you? No. I'm just telling the truth. Tang Bao looked away as if he was looking for someone. Then, he saw Zhou Jisen standing by the champagne tower. He was talking to someone as if this was a business banquet. Tang Bao realized that Zhou Jisen would be there whenever Yu Lianlian was at an event. Who are you looking for? Wan Malay asked. Is Seven not here? Tang Bao asked. I called her earlier and she said she would be here soon. Luoluali looked away. Indeed, she did not see anyone walking in. Of course, they did not see Seven. Because Uncle Seven was stopped at the entrance and was not allowed to enter. What's wrong with you guys? Don't you recognize this invitation card? You've wasted 10 minutes of my time. Can you afford to compensate me if I'm late? Seven was panting as she explained. She was exhausted from explaining to them, but they still did not let her in. How could she not be angry? I'm sorry, the invitation card is real, but you. The two security guards who were checking the invitation card looked at Seven up and down. Seven looked down at herself. Flats, ripped jeans, and a white t-shirt with slanted shoulders. Then, she looked up and asked, What's the problem? You have to wear formal attire to enter this place, the security guard said. Your invitation card is real, but how do we know if you're picked up? So, we can't let you in. Seven could not be bothered to talk nonsense with them. This was already her normal attire. It was already good enough that she did not come in a beggar's attire. Why were they grumbling about? So, she rushed in directly. However, the security guards directly pulled her out. Their actions were a little rough, and 7 was almost pushed down by them. She was so angry that she wanted to throw a tantrum, but she could only hold it in. If she had not lost her phone, she would have called Tang Bao and the rest. What should she do? A black luxury car passed by the VIP aisle not far away. The car windows were thick and black, so he couldn't see inside. However, the car stopped slightly, and the window of the back seat lowered slightly. The security guard's expression tightened. He hurried over and stood beside the car door. He bent down slightly as if he was listening to what the people inside were saying. Red 7 could only see the security guard bending down to block the faces of the people in the car. She could only see the ears. Which celebrity was this? Quite the style. After the security guard stepped back, the car window was closed and the car drove in. Then, the security guard walked over to Red 7. "You can go in now." Don't you suspect that the invitation card was picked up?" Red 7 asked on purpose. She suspected that whether she could go in or not might have something to do with the person in the car. "It's President Chen's order." "You can go in now," the security guard said. "The one in the car just now?" Red 7 asked. "Yes." "Who is he?" 7th Red was curious. "Songhong's CEO." Red 7 thought that she did not know the CEO of Songhong, but she was allowed to pass. Sure enough, being a CEO was different. Magnanimous. Unlike this little security guard, who kept talking but still refused to let her in. Red 7 found Tang Bao and his group. "I've finally found you," Luoluali said. "Was it so difficult to find us?" "No, why are you dressed like this? How did you manage to get in?" "That's why I was stopped outside by the security guard. I only managed to get in now." Red 7 was angry just thinking about it. "That's my mistake. I didn't tell you that you had to wear a dress. I just didn't expect you to dress so casually." "A dress is good too," Tang Bao said. "Didn't I say that I liked to dress as a man in the past? I'm used to being a man, so I don't have a dress at home. But I think my outfit is quite good. At least it's women's clothing," Red 7 said as she gestured at her outfit. Tang Bao nodded. "As long as you're happy. But how did you get in the end?" "It should be Songhong's CEO. When the car passed by, he asked the security guard to let me in," Red 7 said. Tang Bao asked, "Are you sure it's Songhong's CEO?" "That's what the security guard said." "I don't know either." Tang Bao thought that Songhong was very domineering in the entertainment industry. They were not easy to talk to and were too unscrupulous, but he had to admit that Songhong was very capable. Otherwise, they would not be at the top of the entertainment industry. If it was true, that meant that Songhong's CEO would also be attending today's cocktail party? After talking to Zhao Shijin for so long, he did not hear him mention that Songhong's CEO would be attending. He probably did not know either. "Wow, there are so many celebrities here. There are so many celebrities that I know." Red 7 nodded proudly. "So they're all from the same company." "Celebrities that you know?" Wan Malay asked curiously. "I know them from TV," Red 7 said. Tang Bao thought of something and pulled Red 7 aside. "Let me tell you something." "What?" "Don't let anyone else know that I'm cross-dressing. My artists don't know about it." Tang Bao felt that it was better for him to always be a man in their eyes. Red 7 glanced at Qing Ju and Meng Shi. She knew that the people in the entertainment industry definitely did not know that Tang Bao was actually a woman, so she promised, "Don't worry, I won't tell anyone." Tang Bao smiled. At this moment, there was a commotion at the door. Director Wang Zhu's arrival was eye-catching. The woman who was holding Wang Zhu's arm was the most eye-catching. Her beautiful face made no one notice the gown that she had carefully chosen. When Tang Bao looked over, he was instantly stunned. Those who had seen Tang Bao in female clothes also looked at him in disbelief. Then, they looked at Tang Bao's face in male clothes. Especially Meng Shi. Was this his first love? His first love had appeared? "Tang Bao, why does this person look so much like you?" Red 7 asked in a low voice. Tang Bao could only say, there are all kinds of strange things in the world. It's not strange that there are people who look alike. It's 60 to 70% similar. If you're not careful, you can recognize the wrong person, Red 7 said. Wan Malay, Yulianlian, Luoluoli all squeezed up and leaned against Tang Bao. They looked at the Mia, who came in and greeted the other celebrities. Tang Bao, could this person be Xiao Rui? Wan Malay said uncertainly. I don't think so. Xiao Rui isn't as tall as her. Tang Bao was certain. The feeling that this person gave her was completely different from Xiao Rui's. Moreover, Xiao Rui's face was disfigured. Unless she changed her head, how could she recover to this state? Then there are too many people in this world who look like you, right? You don't have a common face either. Logically speaking, I have a common face. Why hasn't anyone looked like me? Wan Malay looked at the face that resembled Tang Bao and felt uncomfortable no matter how she looked at it. I told Red 7 just now. It's not strange that there are people who look like you, Tang Bao said. Chapter 10:19. Therefore, it was hard to say. Mia had already let go of Wang Zhu's arm and was shaking hands with Zhao Shijin. She seemed to know how to socialize. Is this a newcomer to our company? Why haven't I seen her before? Some of the female celebrities at the banquet asked. I haven't seen her before either, but she seems to have a good relationship with Director Wang. Could it be that she's trying to groom a newcomer? She doesn't seem to be a good person. A newcomer is already so close to Director Wang. How can she be a good person? Looks like there will be someone competing with us in the company in the future. Director Wang must be interested in her face. If she only has a face and no acting skills, what's the use? You don't know this. Sometimes, a face is more important than acting skills. Your acting skills are not bad. Why aren't you famous yet? You. Female celebrities were like sisters under the spotlight, but secretly they were fighting to be first. This was normal. They were just trying to survive. With such a newcomer suddenly coming in, everyone was worried that their resources would be stolen. Wang Zhu was a director with a certain status in Songhong. He had a certain amount of power in selecting actors. To enter Songhong, it was necessary to start with Wang Zhu. After a while, Wang Zhu and Mia walked over to Tang Bao. Mr. Tang, nice to meet you. Wang Zhu shook hands with Tang Bao and then introduced her to Tang Bao. This is Mia. She's an important character in my next movie. He even kept her in suspense. She didn't know what important role it was. Hello, Mr. Tang. Mia took the initiative to shake hands with Tang Bao. Tang Bao reached out and felt that Mia's voice seemed familiar. She couldn't help but look at Mia's face for a while. Hello, you're so beautiful. I believe in Director Wang's taste. You must have some good points to make Director Wang admire you so much. Tang Bao said with a smile. I will not let Director Wang and any other leaders down. Mia smiled. Tang Bao also smiled politely. In the bathroom, Mia was touching up her makeup. Your face is very similar to a friend of mine. Mia, who was touching up her makeup, was stunned. When she saw Tang Bao leaning against the wall in the mirror, an elegant smile appeared on her face. Is that so? It's my pleasure. Chen Zhaodi, you've really impressed me. Tang Bao said unhurriedly, but his gaze was sharp as he looked at her. Mia's eyes flashed, but she quickly covered it up. What did you say? I don't understand. Your face can be fixed, but your voice can't be fixed. What I want to know is, who did you get plastic surgery for? Let me think, she should be the wife of the king of King City, right? Tang Bao asked. Mia didn't expect to be exposed so easily, so there was nothing to hide. She wasn't worried about this in the first place. Mr. Tang, I think my plastic surgery shouldn't have any conflict with your interests, right? There are so many celebrities who have undergone plastic surgery, I'm not the only one. Moreover, even if you tell others, it's useless if I don't admit it. Since I dared to undergo plastic surgery, I definitely won't be caught red-handed, Mia said confidently. I just want to know, where did you get the photo? Tang Bao was concerned about this. He was concerned about Chen Zhaodi's intentions. I know why the king of King City wants a man like you, so I did plastic surgery according to your face. Why would I need a photo? I don't need it. Your photo is enough, Mia said proudly. Then she said, Mr. Tang, don't worry. I did plastic surgery just to become a celebrity. I'm not interested in anything else. If you're really aggressive, don't blame me for seducing the king of King City. Of course, if the king of King City sees my face and abandons you, don't blame me. You're really confident. Tang Bao looked at her proud face and said, As you can see, my beauty is enough to make other men drool. You slept with Wang Zhu. Tang Bao said affirmatively. So what? Isn't this normal in the entertainment industry? You've been in the entertainment industry for so long, it's impossible that you don't know. So, I'm just following the trend. To be able to completely do plastic surgery on her face, it was obvious how determined Chen Zhaodi was to enter the entertainment industry. If she hadn't heard Chen Zhaodi's voice, she wouldn't have thought of this face. You'd better not do anything bad that has to do with me. Otherwise, you should know that if you can enter the entertainment industry, I can also kick you out of it. Tang Bao was not polite with her. She felt uncomfortable with such a person appearing in front of her, and with such a strong motive. Aren't you just relying on the king of King City? Mia looked down on others, but in fact, she was jealous. I don't need him to deal with you. I can make you into nothing. Mia glared at Tang Bao. Tang Bao didn't say anything else and turned to leave. Tang Bao returned to the banquet. Luo Luoli asked, Where did you go for so long? The washroom. The moment she came out, Mia followed. The moment she entered the banquet, she greeted and chatted with the big stars and even made eyes at leader Tsang Hong. Tang Bao watched silently. Chen Zhaodi was really someone who made a living in this industry. She was so good at socializing. Tang Bao, did this person have plastic surgery? Tang Bao smiled. You can tell? How can there be such a coincidence? My first thought was that she had plastic surgery, Luo Luoli said. Tang Bao looked around and asked Qingju, Where's Mengshi? Qingju frowned slightly. He should have gone to look for his first love. First love? Then it should be Chen Zhaodi. Tang Bao looked again and realized that Chen Zhaodi was no longer around. At the entrance of the elevator, Mia looked at Mengshi. In the past, a big star like Mengshi was just out of her reach. Now, the two of them were actually so close that they could touch each other just by reaching out. It really made her happy. Hello, Mengshi. I didn't expect to see you so close. I'm so lucky. Mengshi looked at her with a reminiscing and scrutinizing gaze. Do you remember me? What? Mia didn't know what he meant. Of course I remember you. I used to see you on TV often. You really can't be her. Mengshi's words were filled with disappointment. Who is it? Mia felt that Mengshi must have mistaken her for someone else. But who was that person? Since it's not her, why should I say so much to you? Your face was plastic surgery, but I didn't expect you to look like her. However, no matter how much you look like her, your eyes don't. Your eyes look mean. After Mengshi finished speaking, he turned and left. You. Mia looked at the person who walked away and was furious. Chapter 10:20. What an empty joy. Sure enough, the people around Tang Gu were not likable. Tang Bao saw Mengshi walking over with a gloomy expression and could not help but laugh. What's wrong? Are you unhappy? Or were you rejected by your first love? What first love? She's not worthy. Mengshi looked disgusted. You didn't go to look for your first love? Tang Bao knew that something bad was going to happen when he saw his expression. It's just that they look alike. She's not mine at all. Her eyes and demeanor are completely different from someone else's. This feeling is very strange. It's like an ugly soul wearing a beautiful skin. Meng Shi's sarcasm was as though he had undergone professional training. Tang Bao did not look for Meng Shi because she believed in Meng Shi's judgment. He was sharp and shrewd. However, she was very surprised that he came back so quickly. She thought that it would take a while for him to see through the fake appearance. After all, she and Meng Shi had only met once at that time. How could he remember her so carefully and deeply? Otherwise, how could he see through the fake Qin Zhaodi so easily? Wan Malay came up to him curiously. Superstar Meng Shi, you said that your first love looked like Mia? Is that true? What do I need you to do? Tang Bao pushed her away. Why can't I be nosy? Tang Bao, tell me honestly, did you provoke some peach blossom debt outside again? Wan Mi Lai asked in a low voice. What trouble? Don't talk nonsense. Meng Shi stared at Mia's face and went to talk to someone. When he came back, he said this. If this isn't related to you, then what is? If you don't tell me, I'll ask Qingju. She seems to know. Tang Bao pulled her back. Can you stop for a moment? Then tell me. I won't tell anyone. Tang Bao was defeated by her, and could only tell her about how he had run into Meng Shi when he escaped from Dihaotian with his child. Wan Malay was stunned when she heard this. Then, she commented, Meng Shi is too pitiful. How is he pitiful? Isn't this pitiful? He fell in love with a woman who could never be his woman. That's why I can't let him know that I'm a woman. Tang Bao thought that if Meng Shi kept pretending to be a man, she would forget about her first love. But now, Meng Shi was not repulsed by her first love. She even acted like she was abandoned and wanted to be loved. She was also very helpless, okay? What are you two talking about me behind my back? Meng Shi sensed the abnormal expressions of these two people and judged that they must be talking about him. Then, as he spoke, he naturally put his hand on Tang Bao's shoulder, as if they were brothers. It's nothing. You guys go ahead. I have something to do, so I'll leave first. Wan Malay acted as an outsider at this crucial moment. Tang Bao stared at her. What kind of friend was this? Whenever there was gossip, she would come over. If something happened, she would run away. What did he say about me? Meng Shi tightened his grip on Tang Bao's shoulder and asked. Tang Bao took his hand away. What can I say about you? Malay asked me if you fell in love with Miss Mia. I'm not blind. Why would I fall in love with her? Tang Bao's gaze narrowed slightly. Then let me ask you. If the person who appeared today was really your first love, would you choose her? This question stumped Meng Shi. He would not choose Mia. After all, she was not his real first love. He could not choose. After a moment, he said to Tang Bao aggrievedly, Can you give me some time? No matter what I choose in the future, you will agree, right? Tang Bao heard the trap in his words. This is your decision. It has nothing to do with me. But from my perspective as an outsider. What is it? Meng Shi asked nervously. Give up your first love and be with me. Impossible, Meng Shi said without thinking. Tang Bao felt a headache coming on. He was really stubborn. However, no matter how stubborn Meng Shi was, she would not accept or even be touched by his stubbornness. She would only give her body and mind to Dihaotian. She could not give it to anyone else. She did not have the heart and was powerless. Red 7 seemed to have come to the banquet to eat and drink. She was not interested in interacting with anyone at all. Luoli could tell. You can really eat. Aren't these all for humans to eat? It's too wasteful to leave them here, so I have to eat more, Red 7 said as she ate, fully displaying her beggar nature. Then I'll eat some too. Luoli ate beside her. Red 7 even told her which food was more delicious. She completely ignored the security guards who kept looking at her from the door. They were the security guards who stopped her from entering. Don't you think this is strange? Why did President Qin let such a person in? I think President Qin will definitely regret his decision if he sees this scene. Stop talking. If he hears you, do you still want this job? The other security guards had no choice but to shut up. What they said was the truth. President Chin had already let her in. How could they have the right to criticize? Even if this person finished all the delicacies in the banquet, they had no right to interrupt. I can't take it anymore. I have to go to the toilet before I eat, Red 7 said as she wiped her mouth. Luololi. Red 7 left the banquet hall alone and went to the toilet. However, when she turned the corner, she bumped into someone. Red 7 frowned but did not apologize. Because she could not see around the corner, she bumped into someone and someone bumped into her. Both of them were at fault. They were even. There was no need to apologize. Red 7 instinctively looked at the other party. He was very young, in his 20s. He was handsome and upright. He was wearing a black suit made of high-quality material. He had long legs and was very tall. Red 7 was about 1.7 meters tall, but this man was much taller than her. Sorry, I didn't hurt you, did I? The man narrowed his eyes and said in a clear and pleasant voice. No. Red 7 continued to go to the bathroom after saying that. However, she had just taken a few steps when she suddenly thought of something. She turned around abruptly and looked at the man with his back facing her. She shouted, "Wait!" The figure in front paused slightly and then turned around. It was still that handsome and upright face. What's the matter? Compared to him, Red 7 was not so elegant. She went forward and grabbed the man's tie. So it's you. The assistant beside the man was about to go forward, but the man raised his hand to stop him. I don't know what you're talking about, the man said calmly. Even if his tie was being grabbed, he still looked so elegant and cultured. It was as if the person who was being strangled was not him. Chapter 10:21. She dragged the man to the men's washroom. Why was it the men's washroom and not the women's washroom? She was used to going to the men's washroom when she was studying. Even though she was dressed as a woman now, she would still run to the men's washroom subconsciously. Once, she went to the men's washroom directly. When she went in, the man who was peeing at the urinal was scared out of his wits when he saw a female beggar walk in. He thought it was a female pervert. After entering the men's washroom, Red 7 pressed the man down on the toilet and stared at him fiercely. The man smiled faintly and asked, "Do you know me? I would know you even if you turned into ashes." Red 7 was filled with anger the moment she spoke. She pulled the tie in her hand. "Tell me, why did you force yourself on me? This is a misunderstanding." The man continued to smile. Misunderstanding? The first time you drank. The second time you didn't drink. The first time was a misunderstanding. The second time was also a misunderstanding? Do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? She forced herself on a strange man for no reason. Anyone would think that she was forcing herself on him. At that time, she struggled hard, but this person was so strong that she couldn't break free no matter how hard she tried. In the end, she was eaten up. To Red 7, this was simply a strange story. I'm sorry. The first time, I felt a little comfortable. The second time, I missed that feeling, so I went again. The man's tone was still calm, as though he was saying that the dish he ate yesterday tasted good. It was normal to eat it again today. But Red 7 was almost stunned by his words. Sorry? Comfortable? Went again? She thought that the man would continue to deny it until Red 7 suspected that she was seeing things. But he admitted it directly? And he said it so logically? For the first time, Red 7 understood what it meant to be a refined scum. Chin Mo pulled his tie back gently. Because Red 7 was too shocked, she didn't have the strength to pull it back. Even the way he pulled the tie was very elegant. Is there a problem? Red 7 came back to her senses. You still dare to ask me? If I force myself on you, do you think there's no problem? If you forced yourself on me, I think there's no problem. Red 7 almost vomited blood. This person was really F*ck, she had never seen him before. Are you going to report me? How can I report it? Saying that a beggar was raped by a handsome man? Who would believe that? Thank you for the compliment. Red Seven's blood had already reached his throat. He even thanked her. Had her saying that he was stylish turned into a compliment? She just wanted to express that this was a cruel reality. But I don't think it's a big deal, Chinemo said, changing his tone. Seventh Red wanted to hear what else he had to say. Love between a man and a woman is a right that every adult has. Although you are a beggar, you should still have this instinct. When I passed by you, I thought that a person like you was really too pitiful. Why don't I give you some enjoyment? Perhaps then your life wouldn't be so terrible. That's why I treated you that way. I feel like I've added some color to your gloomy life. Red Seven's fists were clenched tightly. She seemed to be trying her best to control herself. Otherwise, her fists would fly towards that handsome and elegant face. However, Chinemo didn't seem to see her anger. He continued to ask. Moreover, he lifted his black eyes and looked directly into Red Seven's eyes that were filled with anger. I thought that since you rejected me the first time, you wouldn't reject me the second time. That's why I was thinking about when I would ask you for a third time. She couldn't tolerate it anymore. There was no need to tolerate it anymore. Red Seven swung her fist directly. However, when it was a few millimeters away from his face, she stopped. It wasn't that she wanted to stop. Instead, someone grabbed her wrist. Her slender wrist was tightly held in his hand. She was stunned. Why are you so rough? Chinemo said with a frown. Then he smiled. But I like it. You F*king pervert. Red Seven had just finished speaking when she was pulled forward. Her face was only a few millimeters away from Chinemo's face. Red Seven's breathing stopped. Her face heated up and her brain stopped working. She almost kissed this pervert's mouth. She remembered that during the 2 times he had raped her, this pervert had kissed her without hesitation. You really don't remember me? Chinemo asked with deep shock in his eyes. His hot breath blew over. Red Seven came back to her senses. Her heart was beating unsteadily. She retreated a distance away. If I didn't forget you, would I have come to find you? I'm referring to when we were in university. What? Red Seven was slightly stunned. We knew each other in university? Yes. No. I don't think so. When I was in university, I don't think I knew people like you. Red Seven recalled the group of people in university and compared them with the man in front of her. None of them matched. So, you didn't feel wronged at all when I raped you, Chinemo said. Red Seven looked carefully at the face of the person in front of her. She was really racking her brains, but she still couldn't figure it out. She felt that she must have offended this person in university. Then, this person took revenge on her. But who did she offend? Can you give me a hint? You kissed me forcefully. Are you kidding me? Red Seven's expression was about to become distorted. So this person was prepared to force a kiss back, or even take her body directly with interest. Just as she was thinking about it, a scene flashed through her mind. She did seem to have kissed a boy. At that time, she bumped into her boyfriend, who was also a university student from the same university. It was her fiancé and her best friend kissing. The university student fiancé explained to her that he had liked her best friend for a long time. At that time, only her fiancé knew that she was a girl, but he treated her that way. Red Seven remembered that she was very angry at that time. She was so angry that she laughed. Then, she said nonchalantly that she came over to break up with him because she had betrayed him long ago and liked someone else. Then, she kissed a boy who was passing by in front of her fiancé. But although that boy was tall, he was slightly chubby. Moreover, in that situation, how could she remember the appearance of a boy who she randomly pulled over and kissed? Red Seven looked at Chinemo in disbelief. You don't tell me that you are that chubby boy? It's me. Chapter 10:22. Look carefully, I'm wearing contact lenses. Red 7 couldn't accept all the changes. The person in front of her didn't look like the fat boy from back then. Were all the fat people in the world potential stalks? Red 7 had some impression. Although the boy she kissed was slightly chubby, he was very cute. His skin was very white and his face was very red after she kissed him. I was a boy back then. Red 7 didn't deny that she was a girl dressed as a boy. She just couldn't understand how she made him blush back then. I know you're a girl. How do you know? No one knows. Except for her damned fiancé, Yao Bin. I accidentally saw you changing clothes in the changing room of the swimming pool. You had a slender figure with graceful lines. I saw all the physical characteristics of a girl. Qin Mo would never forget that scene. He was deeply attracted and his soul left his body. Also, when I slept at night, I had a wet dream. F***ck. Red 7 was so embarrassed and angry that she wanted to curse. He even peeked at her body. And F***ck. The truth of the matter made her forget to retract her hands that were on Qin Mo's shoulders. They were mainly trembling. Something like this actually happened in her university life, and she was completely unaware of it. She only found out when someone came to her door. After being stunned for a few seconds, Red 7 retracted her hands and stood by the door with a slight distance. I think it was a misunderstanding that I forced a kiss on you. Who hasn't been young and frivolous? Let's just turn the page and pretend that nothing happened. Red 7 didn't want to ask how he knew she was the girl from back then. If she really wanted to find out, it wasn't like there was no trace. As for being raped, she couldn't find anyone to settle the score. If she really wanted to find out, people would say that it was caused by him forcing a kiss on her. Wasn't she speechless in an instant? Forget it, she would just pretend that she was bitten by a dog. Qin Mo stood up and adjusted his tie. His body was tall and the entire isolation room was covered in shadows. Red 7 was also under this shadow. She could feel the oppressive aura coming from this man. Nothing happened? Maybe not. Why not? You won't keep forcing yourself on me like this, right? When Red 7 heard him say that, she looked as if she had seen a ghost and said, "Or do you have some special fetish for beggars?" Qin Mo leaned closer to Red 7. Red 7's entire back was pressed against the door. Her body was pulled straight and she didn't dare to breathe. You still don't know my name. Who wants to know your name? Remember, my name is Qin Mo. I'm waiting for you to force a kiss on me again. After Qin Mo finished speaking, his smile became even more elegant. Then he left the cubicle. Once the pressure dissipated, 7th Red heaved a sigh of relief and his body went limp. Why did she have to provoke such a person? Or could it be that this person's desire for revenge was too strong? She came to settle scores with her now when they were in university? He even said that he was waiting for her to kiss him forcefully? Was he addicted to being forcefully kissed? This man must be dreaming. Back then, she had no choice but to kiss him. There would never be a second time. However, when Red 7 thought of the things that happened in university that she didn't know about, she just forcefully kissed him once and her body was seen naked. At night, when she slept, Red 7 wanted to bang her head against the wall. She roared in her heart again. The scum of the refined scum. Red 7 suppressed the collapse in her heart. When she walked out of the cubicle, her footsteps froze. There were many men in the men's washroom. Were they here to use the washroom, or? Red 7 thought that the cubicle wasn't soundproof. She was so regretful that she wanted to kill someone. She opened the door and left the men's washroom. Everything was heard by that group of people. At that time, she finally caught the man who raped her and dragged him into the cubicle. She thought that others wouldn't know. She was really deceiving herself. She couldn't be blamed, right? She was so angry at that time. Anger could easily make one's IQ drop. When Red 7 returned to the banquet hall, she saw Qin Mo, who was in the men's washroom just now, talking to someone else. His movements were filled with the confidence of a successful businessman. There was a handsome and appropriate smile on his face. He was refined and cultured. He looked like a gentleman with profound self-restraint. It was as if what happened in the men's washroom just now had nothing to do with him. It really made her angry. But who was this Qin Mo? Even Zhao Shijin looked like he was trying to please him, not to mention the others. Even the female celebrities wanted to get close to him. Red 7 walked towards Tang Bao and asked them, "Who is that person?" Tang Bao followed Red 7's gaze and said, "This is the CEO of Tsanghong." "What? The CEO of Tsanghong?" Red 7 looked at Tang Bao in shock. Luo Luoli found it strange. "Why are you so surprised? Do you know him?" "No. I don't know him. It's just strange that the CEO of Tsanghong is so young. I thought he was an old man with a beer belly," Red 7 said. "What kind of strange thought is that?" Luo Luoli asked. "It's not strange. At first, I thought that the CEO of Tsanghong was a middle-aged man. He looks like he's in his 20s. Tang Bao laughed. How could Red 7 not be surprised? The CEO of Tsanghong raped a beggar? Who would believe it? Red 7 didn't believe it herself. Really, if this person hadn't admitted it directly in the toilet, she would have thought that she had terminal paranoia. How many female celebrities were there in Tsanghong? Those who could be celebrities. No matter if it was their face or figure, there was nothing to criticize, right? Qin Mo actually looked for her? What kind of taste was that? Or was it that Qin Mo was tired of eating female celebrities, and now wanted to taste a beggar? It seems that the CEO of Tsanghong is very charming and cultured. Look at those female celebrities, their eyeballs are about to fall out, Yu Lianlian said after observing. Handsome guys are more popular, Wan Malay said. Red 7 watched as Qin Mo accepted every female celebrity's toast, taking a sip of his wine elegantly. He didn't reject anyone at all. Refined scum, Red 7 said in disdain. Luo Luoli looked at Red 7, who was scolding him, and asked curiously, "Do you know him?" "How could I know the CEO of Tsanghong? You must be joking." Red 7 felt that everyone would believe her. Hence, after she said that, no one refuted her. In fact, there was even a hint of suspicion. Tang Bao leaned towards Red 7 and said, "I think that your taste is very unique, but I agree with what you said." Red 7 looked at Tang Bao with a painful gaze. "You're absolutely right." Chapter 10:23. Tang Bao continued, "But I have to say, he's also a powerful character. Otherwise, Tsanghong wouldn't be where he is now. Back then, when she chose Tsanghong, she felt that he was a unique existence. If she followed the rules, she wouldn't want to go." Red 7 hadn't heard about the deeds of Tsanghong film and television, but after hearing her friend's words, she felt that Qin Mo was even more perverted in her heart. "I can't tell. He's cultured and has inner qualities," Luo Luoli said. "Didn't I just say that he's a refined scum? Of course you can't tell. I've seen more people than the salt you've eaten." Red 7's last analogy stunned Luo Luoli, who was the scriptwriter. How could she make such an analogy? "Stop talking, someone's coming." Tang Bao made a sound, and it was the kind that only sounds could be heard. His lips couldn't be seen moving. Then they saw Qin Mo walking towards them. Red 7's nerves were more tense than anyone else's. What was this person doing here? Was he going to talk to her? Red 7 didn't want to talk to this person. Once she did, she wanted to strangle him. Every word that came out of his mouth was intelligible. Zhao Shijin introduced, "CEO, this is CEO Tang from Ibao Studio, Tango." "CEO Tang, this is Tsanghong's CEO, CEO Qin." "Hello, CEO Qin. I've heard of your name for a long time. You really live up to your reputation." Tang Bao reached out his hand. Qin Mo was as refined as a top student who had just graduated from a university. He reached out his hand. Hello, CEO Tang. I've heard rumors about Manager Tang. You're a rare manager. When I saw you, I actually had the urge to poach you. Tang Bao laughed. Whether these words were true or not, it was extremely comfortable to hear them. He was an elegant and humorous gentleman. It's my honor to be chosen by Tsang Hong. Now that I've worked with Tsang Hong, I realize that this is the smartest decision I've made in the entertainment industry. Tang Bao smiled appropriately. Qin Mo looked at the person beside him. Is this your friend? Yes, my friend. Tang Bao was slightly surprised that he would change the topic to the person beside him. After all, someone of Qin Mo's status wouldn't be interested in such things. More surprises awaited. Give me an introduction? Tang Bao was, after all, an experienced person who had seen all kinds of situations in the entertainment industry. Although he was stunned, he quickly calmed down. This is Yu Lianlian. I know, the retired Best Actress. Qin Mo smiled. Yes. Meng Shi and Qing Ju are artists signed by my studio. This is my good friend and confidant, Wan Malay. This is the scriptwriter of Ibao Studio, who is also my good friend. This is Zhang Hongqi, who is also my good friend. In other words, they're all my good friends. Tang Bao's introduction made him want to laugh. Qin Mo glanced over at the few of them. She wasn't sure if it was Tang Bao's illusion, but she felt that Qin Mo's gaze was fixed on Red 7 before he retracted it silently. It seems like Boss Tang is very popular with women. Qin Mo smiled. Ha ha ha, I think so too. To tell you the truth, I've always been popular with women since I was young. Tang Bao laughed. Yu Lianlian, Wan Malay, Luo Luoli, and Red 7. But Boss Qin is more popular with women than I am. Tang Bao said jokingly. You must be joking. After Qin Mo finished speaking, he looked at Red 7. I'm a little surprised. I thought that everyone who comes here is wearing a gown. Tang Bao explained, sorry, my friend accidentally dirted her gown on the way here, so she wore this. It's okay, I'm just curious. I think she's very beautiful even without a gown, Qin Mo said with a smile. Tang Bao. Red 7's body was not only stiff, but even her neck was stiff. She couldn't move it. Qin Mo seemed to be chatting casually. After he was done, he acted as though nothing had happened. I still have something to do, excuse me. Okay, go ahead. When Qin Mo turned around, he glanced at Red 7 again. This time, it wasn't Tang Bao's illusion. Qin Mo really looked at Red 7. He looked at Red 7's face again. It was very ugly. Luo Luoli pounced on Tang Bao and grabbed his hand. Baby Tang Bao, I really admire you. Can you kill me? Tang Bao smiled gently. Okay, I admire you so much. You're completely like a strong woman. My eyes are shining, Luo Luoli said. Meng Shi was unhappy when he heard that. Do you know how to talk? Don't make him sound like a girl. The others retorted in their hearts. He was a girl to begin with. When it was about time, the few of them left the banquet hall together. The moment they walked out, they saw He Ju. Tang Bao asked, Are you here to pick me up? No, He Ju answered simply. Tang Bao was speechless. He Ju looked at Wan Malay. Wan Malay's face was hot, especially when she was stared at ambiguously by the others. Yo, there's someone here to pick you up. Malay, I wanted to let you sit in my car. It seems like I won't have the chance. Yu Lianlian laughed. Just as she finished laughing, a low voice sounded beside her. Let's go. Yu Lianlian turned back. It was Zhou Jisen. She asked in surprise, Why are you here? Everyone looked at Yu Lianlian in shock. Then they saw Zhou Jisen looking at Yu Lianlian very slowly. His gaze was almost tearing Yu Lianlian apart. No, I mean, why are you standing beside me? You've always been far away from me. Yu Lianlian quickly explained. However, if Zhou Jisen believed her, then he wouldn't be Zhou Jisen. He glanced at her coldly and walked away, ignoring Yu Lianlian. Vice President Yu, aren't you going to chase after him? Tang Bao asked. Yu Lianlian felt embarrassed, but she didn't dare to not chase after him. She laughed dryly and followed Zhou Jisen. He also picked up Wan Malay. Meng Shi hooked his arm around Tang Bao's shoulder. Let's go. Take my car. I'll send you back. Do you think that's possible? I'm already married. Let another person send me home? Are you afraid of being seen by my other half? Tang Bao retorted. Meng Shi's hand on Tang Bao's shoulder stiffened. He retracted it and walked away with a terrible expression. Cheng Ju said goodbye to Tang Bao and left as well. Only Tang Bao and Luololi were left. Let's go. I'll send you back, Tang Bao said. Tang Bao, I don't think so. Seeing that Tang Bao didn't understand, Luololi pointed into the distance. The black car was like a dormant beast in the night. The headlights were as bright as torches and couldn't be ignored. Even if he couldn't see the license plate, Tang Bao knew whose car it was. Did Di Haotian just arrive? Or did he not leave at all? Because when she got out of the car, Di Haotian parked it there. Let's go. Let's go together, Tang Bao said. Chapter 10:24. Okay, bye. Tang Bao turned and walked towards Di Haotian's car. Luoluali was still waving at Tang Bao when a voice came from behind. You only saw Di Haotian's car and didn't see mine? Luoluali and Red 7 both turned and were shocked by the sudden voice. Gu Linshan stood behind them as though he had just come out of a banquet. His back was against the light, and his face was dark and gloomy, carrying a sense of danger. Luoluali didn't dare to ask, "Little uncle, where did you park your car?" Wouldn't that be admitting that she really didn't see Gu Linshan's car? She wouldn't let herself provoke Gu Linshan. The feeling of coming at night was very dangerous. It was the kind of fear that wild beasts would appear everywhere. That was the feeling that Gu Linshan gave her. Little uncle, Red 7 can take our car too. We'll send her home, Luololi said. Red 7 was about to reject and say that she would take the car, but someone rejected on her behalf. It's okay, I can send her home. Red 7 looked at the car that stopped beside them in shock. It came from the VIP lane and stopped in front of them. The car window rolled down, revealing Qin Mo's refined face. At least, that was how Red 7 saw it. Luoluali was very surprised. This President Qin was so approachable? Red 7 didn't seem to be close to him. She was about to reject when Gu Linshan hugged her first. Since someone is sending her, she doesn't need to take our car. But, before Luoluali could say anything, Gu Linshan took her away forcefully. Red 7 stood there in a daze for a few seconds. Wasn't this too much? How could they give her to a stranger? She watched as Gu Linshan and Luoluali left. But even if she had to stay here alone, she wouldn't take a stranger's car. She definitely wouldn't get in. What a joke. Hence, she turned and left. Why, you don't dare to take my car? Qin Mo asked calmly. Red 7's back stiffened. She turned and looked at him. You're so kind as to send me home? What's your motive? What's so strange? We used to be schoolmates. Red 7 thought, can I not be your schoolmate? This schoolmate is poisonous, okay? It's okay, we should draw a line and treat each other as strangers. Are you really not getting in the car? No! If I told your friend that I forced myself on you, would you still do it? Qin Mo seemed to be in a dilemma as he frowned and asked. His face was still elegant and his handsome face. It was as though this wasn't a threat. However, Red 7 felt was a real threat. It was fine if Loli Luo was the only one who knew about this embarrassing incident. Did she want everyone to know? Because she didn't know who he was. Because if she had known from the start that this person was Qin Mo, she would definitely have kept this secret until her death. Don't doubt my words. Qin Mo had already opened the car door. He seemed sure that Red 7 would get in his car. This feeling was King terrible. She, Red 7, was actually threatened by someone who raped her. She, who was cool as a beggar, wasn't cool now. She was angry, but she couldn't move. But it was just a car. What was there to be conflicted about? Did this person want to do something to her? At least Red 7 was on guard. She didn't feel like she was at a disadvantage. Hence, Red 7 got in the car rudely and slammed the door shut. Chin-mo didn't seem to care and asked the driver to drive. On the road, Chin-mo glanced at Red 7 and asked, "Sit so far away from me, I won't do anything to you." For Red 7, who had been raped twice without being able to resist, this feeling was really King terrible. It was as if this person's every word was about rape, violence, or threatening her to be raped, and so on. "Would you like me to do something to you?" Red 7's expression was about to collapse. "Don't worry, CEO Chin, I definitely don't think that way." Chin-mo leaned against the back of the chair casually. The slender and fair fingers on his thighs tapped slightly as though he was planning something. But it was possible to say that he was just acting subconsciously. Red 7's gaze landed on Chin-mo's fingers. They were fair and slender, and the tips of his fingers were round and clean. He was as fastidious as a rich young master. He gave off the feeling of an extremely cultured gentleman. He had a refined and elegant temperament from head to toe. It was hard to imagine that such a person would do such a thing. She still couldn't believe it. "CEO Chin, call me by my name," Chin-mo interrupted her. Red 7 choked. Was there a difference? Alright. If he wanted to call him that, then so be it. Just don't delay her. Chin-mo, you are the CEO of Tsanghong. Can I understand that you have a lot of women around you? A lot. Chin-mo didn't deny it. Anyone with eyes could see it. Then you shouldn't lack women. Why do you have to find me? Red 7 asked. What does having a lot of women around me have to do with a lack of women? Red 7 was really stumped. Yes, what did it have to do with anything? Why did Chin-mo make it sound like he was an extremely disciplined person in terms of relationships? Would a disciplined person force himself on a beggar? And I said that I forced myself on you because you forced a kiss on me. Then I apologize to you. I apologize to you for forcing myself on you. How about it? Do you accept it? Yes, I definitely accept it. If she didn't accept it, then Chin-mo could refuse to accept her. Wouldn't that be endless? I don't accept it, Chin-mo said. Red 7. I like to use my own way to respond to you, Chin-mo said with principles. Then, is that enough? No. Chin-mo, what exactly do you want? Just because I forced a kiss on you in university, I should be forced by you? She didn't expect that fatty to have such a side to him. If she had known that he was so difficult to deal with, she would rather kiss a girl. She would tell Yao Bin that she was actually gay. Chin-mo tilted his face slightly, a hint of sharpness flashing through his cold eyes. It seems so. The car stopped in front of a familiar house. Red 7 was about to open the car door when she paused. I don't live here. Send me back to the bridge. Chin-mo didn't say anything. He just instructed the driver to go to the bridge. Red 7 didn't have to worry that Chin-mo didn't know the address. How could he not know the place where he forced himself on her the first time? When they reached the bridge, Red 7 walked into the bridge without turning back. The deeper she walked into the long bridge, the quieter it became. Every step he took reverberated in the surroundings, and there was a vibrating echo in his chest. Chapter 10:25. There was a shadow in his slightly restrained eyes. She couldn't see his eyes clearly, but they were very deep. It was as though there was a thick layer of dark film on them. It wasn't that Red 7 didn't feel the stare, but she didn't turn back. She didn't understand what Chin-mo was doing. Would he wait for her to sleep and rape her again? After all, Chin-mo drank at the banquet. As a result, when Red 7 laid in her kennel, she still couldn't calm down. She was afraid that Chin-mo would suddenly appear. At that time, she wouldn't be able to call for help. However, she was also curious. She wasn't the only one sleeping under the overpass. Why didn't others notice that Chin Mo raped her that night? Or did he help? Red 7 thought that perhaps her popularity wasn't enough for others to help her. However, Chin Mo's appearance still affected her mood. It wasn't about being raped but about Yao Bin. She tried her best not to think about it and lived a carefree life. However, Chin Mo's existence made her recall that shadow-like existence. She liked Yao Bin since she was a teenager. The two families had been interested in marriage for a long time. They had said that they were going to get engaged, and she had always seen Yao Bin as her future husband. Later, she encountered Yao Bin's betrayal and had a showdown with the two families in private. Red 7 thought that she would wait until the engagement was broken, but she didn't expect it to happen at the engagement party. In front of so many people, he said that he wanted to break the engagement. At that time, Red 7 felt as though her head had been smashed with a stick. She finally experienced the feeling of being disgraced. Her father didn't like her after knowing that she was a girl. Now, he said that he didn't have a daughter like her. If her mother hadn't begged her, she wouldn't have gone back these 2 years. Even if she went back, it didn't mean that she had a good relationship with her family. After she got a postdoc, she found out that her father had another woman outside. Her mother was clearly in pain, but she insisted on staying at home. Red 7 felt that life was a little funny. Everything was fake. Hence, she became a beggar as a doctoral student. She did it for many years. Even if she lived a muddle-headed life, it was quite comfortable. She hadn't expected Chin Mo to appear. Red 7 tossed and turned, unable to fall asleep. There were too many messy things in her mind. She was still worried that Chin Mo would appear. Would this person be more impudent if he told her everything? Then should she sleep somewhere else? However, the second time she was raped, she did not sleep under the bridge. Could it be that Chin Mo knew where she slept? Thinking of this, Red 7 couldn't sleep. At noon, Luoluali came to find Red 7 with lunch. She saw Red 7 sitting under the bridge with a gloomy face. He was filled with resentment. Red 7, what's wrong? Luoluali walked over. I brought you lunch. Why are you here? Especially for me? I called you, but you didn't answer. I was worried about you, so I came to check on you. Luoluali sat down. Let's eat. Thank you. 7 picked up the box and began to eat. Luoluali watched her eat for a while before asking, Did President Chin send you back in the end? He's on the way. 7th Red covered it up. Oh, then he's not that bad, Luoluali said with a smile. Red 7 thought. He wasn't that bad, but he was so bad that he was bleeding. Of course, she didn't want to say this and make Luoluali suspicious. She really didn't want her to know that there was such a thing between her and Chin Mo. Red 7, you seem to have something on your mind. After being asked by Luoluali, Red 7 lost her appetite even more. But because Luoluali specially brought her food, she had to eat it. So she stuffed her mouth mouthful by mouthful. After stuffing her mouth full, she started to speak. Her words were muffled, but if you pricked up your ears, you could hear what she was saying. Maybe it's the after-effects of the banquet. There's so much good food, but I don't think I've eaten enough. I regret not eating more. Luoluali thought. She didn't eat enough? She was so full that she had to run to the toilet. Red 7 swallowed the food in her mouth and pretended to ask casually, Loli, let me ask you something. Go ahead. If one day you forced a kiss on a man and the man came to take revenge on you, what would you do? Revenge? How? Luoluali seriously considered this question. Force a kiss back. Ah? That's impossible, right? Either that man likes that woman or he's bored. Red 7 thought that it was impossible for him to like her, and it didn't seem like he was bored. She felt that Chin Mo was too cultured and scum. Who was forced a kiss? Luoluali asked. Nothing, I just watched a melodramatic TV show and thought about it. Melodramatic TV shows have their charm. I like to watch it at home, it's quite relaxing. As a future scriptwriter, Lualuali would watch all kinds of TV shows. Just as the two of them were talking, several cars stopped outside the overpass. It seemed that the situation was serious. There were even police cars behind them. The few people who came down looked like leaders, and there were policemen in uniform. They walked down the bridge. "What are they doing?" Lualuali asked. Of course, Red 7 didn't know, and she didn't need to answer. Because the moment they walked over, they chased away the beggars who were still sleeping under the bridge. "Stop sleeping, wake up, wake up!" The sleeping beggars were all woken up, and they looked at these people anxiously. "Listen up, from now on, beggars are not allowed to sleep under the bridge." Red 7 walked forward and tried to reason with them. "Why not? This is our shelter. We will try to contact your family and bring you back. If you are really homeless, follow us to the police station to register. We will give you the best arrangement." The leader didn't look bad. The beggars were happy when they heard that. Because they were indeed homeless, if the leader really thought about them and made arrangements, they wouldn't need to sleep under the bridge. But to Red 7, this wasn't a good thing. She had a family, and she was a postdoc, so she definitely wasn't homeless. But she didn't want to bring her family back. But she couldn't reason with these people. After all, it was good treatment for the truly homeless beggars. "Let's go, follow us." Then the beggars followed into the car. The leader saw Red 7 standing there motionlessly and asked, "You're not a beggar, right? Beggars don't dress like you." Red 7 lowered her head and looked at the clothes she was wearing. It was the clothes from the banquet yesterday. She didn't look like a beggar, and looked more human than usual. Chapter 10:26. Since you're not, then don't sleep under the bridge. The higher-ups have ordered that no one is allowed to sleep under the bridge. Go back. After the man finished speaking, he got in the car and drove away. Red 7 didn't want to leave, but if she didn't, she would definitely be chased away. But she didn't want to go home. "Red 7, stay at my place. There are a lot of rooms in the villa anyway. You can stay there if you want." Lualuali knew Red 7's current state of mind. If she was willing to go home, would she still stay here? No way. "I'm afraid that your husband will chop off a super big light bulb like me." "It's not as exaggerated as you say," Lualuali said without much confidence. "It's not that bad. If I can't sleep here, I can sleep somewhere else. There's more than one place in D-City." Red 7 would definitely not sleep at Lualuali's house. But Red 7 thought too simply. When she found another good place to sit down, the city enforcement officers drove their motorcycles over in less than 10 minutes. "Are you a beggar?" Red 7 asked puzzledly. "City enforcement officers, beggars don't break the law, right?" "It doesn't break the law, but it affects the city's appearance. If you're really homeless, go to the police station to register," the city enforcement officers said arrogantly. Lualuali saw that Red 7's expression wasn't too good and didn't want her to fight with the city enforcement officers. Before doing so, Lualuali smiled and asked the city enforcement officers, "Is D-City doing some kind of civilized city management?" "Yes, so we have to eliminate any beggars in D-City." The city enforcement officers were dignified and their bright uniforms were very eye-catching. At this moment, Red 7 felt as if he was inhaling an itch and exhaling anger. She had never liked the city enforcement officers, but now they were bullying her. But what could she do? Fight with the city enforcement officers? Of course not. A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. "Then I'm going home." Red 7 packed her bedding. You're going home?" Lualuali couldn't believe it. "That can't be helped. You can't sleep on the streets of D-City. If you're fine, go home." "You're really going home?" Lualuali asked again in disbelief. "What's so strange? Didn't you go back often in the past?" Lualuali thought. Yes, they were going back, but it was different this time. If the city was reorganized, They would not be able to sleep on the streets in the future. Red 7 would have to sleep at home. Although Red 7 didn't tell her about her family, it wasn't hard to guess that Red 7 didn't like her family. Luo felt that she was probably the only person who wanted her friends to sleep on the street. "Alright, I'm leaving. You should go back too. Call me if there's anything." Then he packed up and left. It seemed that the city enforcement officers would not leave until she packed up. It was as if they were bent on seeing her leave. Red 7 felt helpless. After saying goodbye to Luo, she got on the bus. Red 7 leaned against the car window, and her lifeless face was reflected in the glass. For the first time, she felt that there wasn't a single piece of land in Imperial City that could accommodate her. The car stopped at one stop after another, but Red 7 had no intention of getting off. They followed the car to the final stop, the suburbs. Then, she dragged her bedding to an alley and decided to stay here. However, just as she put down her bedding, an old man beside her stood up. "Do you have any eyes? Someone is sleeping here." "Sir, you want to sleep on such a big piece of land? That's too extravagant." Red 7 made up her mind not to leave and sat down. The old man was anxious. No one had ever squeezed their territory with him. He looked at Red 7 from head to toe. "Who are you? Why do you have to sleep here?" "I'm Red 7. I'm new here. I hope you can be generous and let me have a comfortable place to stay." "Hong Qigong?" The old man was shocked. "Hong as in red. Since you have the same name as Hong Qigong, I'll let you sleep here." Red 7 crossed her legs and looked at the sky. "Thank you, sir. But you don't look like a beggar. Haven't you heard that Hong Qigong's beggars are separated into clean and unclean ones?" "That's true." The old man expressed his acceptance. Although Red 7 was a beggar, she still loved cleanliness. It was just that her clothes were tattered, and she looked no different from a beggar. Get up, get up. Why is there a beggar here?" Red 7 was shocked. She sat up, grabbed her bedding and ran. Why were there city enforcement officers everywhere? Did they have to clean up the suburbs too? She wanted to find another place to rest with Luo on her back. Great, she was chased away again. Then, Red 7 realized that city enforcement officers would appear within a few minutes of her sitting down in the suburbs. Thus, Red 7 was chased back to the city. She had nowhere to go in the chaos. The endless traffic made her feel irritated. In the end, she sat by the roadside next to a lamppost. Her hair was messed up by her, and her face was dirty because she had not washed it after sleeping for the whole night. She felt very sleepy because she did not sleep last night. She might as well listen to the noise of cars and people and close her eyes to sleep. She felt that she could sleep. For a person who was seriously sleep-deprived, she could definitely do it. Just a few minutes after she closed her eyes, a shadow covered her eyes. Red 7 thought it was city enforcement officers again. She did not want to struggle anymore. "City enforcement officers, I need to sleep for a while. I will leave after sleeping," Red 7 said weakly without opening her eyes. "This will affect the city's appearance." The low and clear voice was so familiar that Red 7 opened her eyes abruptly. She was so scared that her sleepiness flew away. She looked up at Qin Mo, who was looking down at her in a daze. "Why are you here?" "This is Tsang Hong's headquarters." Red 7 turned her head to look. There was indeed a building behind her. The silver words Tsang Hong at the entrance were so domineering. She couldn't be so unlucky, right? She sat directly at the entrance of Tsang Hong and bumped into Qin Mo. "Sorry, I didn't know this was Tsang Hong. I will leave now." Red 7 picked up her bedding and was about to leave. The road in front was blocked by a sturdy wall. She was blocked to the left and right. "What are you doing? Since you are at the entrance, why don't you go in and have a cup of tea?" "No, I don't like to drink." "You don't have to refuse." Red 7 did not understand what he meant and looked at him in confusion. "You will go in eventually." "Why? Are you threatening me again?" Red 7 didn't understand. No, I will ask the security to invite you in. He was indeed a refined scum. He said this sentence as if he was inviting her in for a tour. But if this was not a threat, what was it? In the end, Red 7 was invited into Tsang Hong. When she went in, the betting in her hand was taken over by Chin Mo. Red 7 was so shocked that she couldn't speak for a long time. She even forgot to refuse. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.